Looks like we're live. We're doing live. Okay, well, welcome YouTube. I'm Emperor Dion, as you might know. For today's topic, well, I've said this numerous times throughout my content, throughout my time speaking towards this community, more or less just going through and saying how what's up, Benjamin B? I'm good. Nice to see you drop into the chat, to the live stream for today's show. By the way, keep in mind you're here on my show and you're prime, a lot of you. I remember facing my elementary to say shit like this, but I mean it's true. It's true to a degree too. You know how most people in their prime would be out somewhere partying, drinking, fucking, various things that normal people do. Let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it. So, more or less, the topic is that and I'm only going to cover the topic for maybe the first 30 minutes of the stream, and then we'll just shoot the shit after that. But today's topic is more or less why I think most incel guys really kind of just deserve inceldom. And I say this based on my own personal experience here in this community, here dealing with people. And I was going to make a video about this too, but I kind of stopped myself from putting that video out because what I said on there, what I ended up saying on that video was a little bit too raw for some of you pansies that might be watching me. Like I had a couple people unsubbed because of some shit that I said in a couple of my last videos, and like I decided, you know what, maybe this is a little bit too raw. Maybe I should just compile my thoughts into an actual live stream topic and put it out there, see what happens, and see what, audio's a bit off. Hold on. No, hold on. Let me see what I can do about that. Well, my audio is going to be off, though, because my phone is over an air vent, which I'm using to keep my phone warm, to keep my phone cool, because it gets hot in this truck, guys. It gets hot in this truck. Is that any better? I just moved it off of the vent. But, guys, it gets hot in my truck, so I have to have the phone over an air vent. Keep my phone from fucking blowing up. But I can also, let me see here, reduce background noise, mic volume, automatically adjust. No, we don't want that. Turn the volume all the way up, or at least most of the way up. Okay, is that any better, guys? Is the audio any better? Do you hear me any more clearly? Let me see here. Default. Make it to the speakerphone. Well, I guess it is on speaker. Okay, if that's not any better, guys, then just bear with me, okay? But that should be better now. So, more or less, I've been saying this for a long time that basically Inqels, a lot of Inqels really kind of deserve being an Inqel. In a lot of ways, is because, like, you guys know how Chats and all the guys that women fuck, right? They don't tend to be the best guys. Like, they tend to be guys that are not smart. They're not doing well in life. They're typically not nice, good dudes. They're definitely not nice, caring dudes like you'd envision it and so to be, although we'll get to that in a second. But these are the guys that, what the fuck, it's usually bad boys, like, oh, the bad boy gets all the action and the nice guy finished last. Like, you guys know this thing. You guys know what the fuck I'm talking about here, about what women typically go for. And so, considering what women typically go for, the assumption then is that Inqels are good dudes. That's not the case at all, guys. That is not the case at all. I've been saying this for the longest time because I know this about myself. I know I'm not a good dude myself. And I would speculate that most of you guys are also not good dudes. Like, just because you're an incel, just because you're suffering, just because you ain't been given a chance, don't necessarily mean you're a good dude. But let's get into it. I've got several points here. So, point number one of why a lot of Inqels kind of deserve to be Inqels is, well, I summed this up by one name, Jamil the King. Yes, you guys know Jamil the King. This guy, I've made several videos talking about him at this point. I've given my opinion all about the guy. But Jamil the King is point number one. Why Inqels don't deserve, because a lot of Inqels, like Jamil the King is very stereotypical of what may be in this community. Like a lot of guys probably relate to him, probably got the same thing to say, probably got the same mentality as him, same everything for the most part. Jamil the King though is he himself definitely deserves to be an inkwell, because like I've watched him for a long time and I've kind of just gone through some of the situations he's been through and kind of seen like the shit he says, the shit he believes, the things he's also done to people too, because he's been around long enough to where people have reached out, people have kind of tried to like collaborate with him, people tried to help him out and shit like this. And Jamil the King's been an asshole to a lot of these people, guys. So you know, and to say further about Jamil the King too, he really does it to himself in a lot of ways with why he's an incel. So like he doesn't, like all the points I'm gonna say after this, they all apply to Jamil the King. But to run through them briefly, Jamil the King basically, hold on. David Harrow says Jamil is relatable. I understand why he obsessed with Chinese and Japanese women. Well, I mean, he may be. If you're relatable to Jamil the King, I think you need to do some self-reflection though, because like I'm a black dude that likes Asian girls too, just like him. You don't see me carrying on the way he does. For damn sure not. And not only that, like Jamil the King has never really been successful with getting Asian girls. I've been successful with getting Asian girls, and I don't think I look significantly better than him. So you explain to me why that is. I don't look better than Jamil. I don't necessarily look better than him. Like, yeah, he's got that yam nose on his face, but I mean, shit. Like, is that really a big blow to him? SMV wise, like to say that he can't get an Asian girl, I don't think so. So if you find Jamil the King relatable, David Harrow, I think you need to do some self-reflection there, buddy. Because Jamil, like to briefly run through the problem with him, is that, like I said, he's an asshole. So he's on record many times saying he don't give a fuck if he see other black dudes with Asian girls because that's not him. Okay, so Jamil, you're selfish. You're fucking selfish, dude. You don't like to see other black dudes with the type of girls that you like. That doesn't give Jamil any hope that he could get it one day. You see, so he openly just doesn't want to see other guys succeed. He openly doesn't want to see like other black dudes, especially like succeed. That doesn't give him hope. No, that fills Jamil with despair because he's a pathetic little bitch that for whatever reason he can't just find out what he needs to do to get there. And so he also lives with his mom. Like, yeah, I live with my mom too, but you see, I'm not there most of the time. But this dude lives with his mom, and to take it a step further, his mom is like telling him what to do and making him do shit and like sheltering him. Like Jamil went to these Asian massage parlors one time, and his mom found out about it, and she fucking made him stop going. Like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? Your mom is telling you what to do like this? Like, that's pathetic, but that's like another strike against him, that he's so pathetic and low down and just like a sissy. He's a huge sissy that he basically lives like a kid, even though he's definitely a grown man. Like, I think he just turned 30 not that long ago. So the dude's a man and he lives like that. So hold on, let me continue with some comments. Corrales Junkus, this is the first time I've seen you before. Corrales Junkus says, are you done with Raymond or there is more to come? I'm not going to talk about Raymond. I'm not going to make content about Raymond on this fucking channel anymore. If I'm going to do content about him, I'm going to make a separate channel, and I will tell you guys about it if I do. I haven't gotten around to it. I'm a busy guy. But no, I'm not really necessarily done with him, though. Not necessarily. I may jump on him again. But that answers that question. A Common Man says, Actually, for Asian girls, that is a huge issue. No pun intended. What are you referring to, Akawa man? Like, guys, I know getting Asian girls as a black dude is a little bit of a challenge, but I mean, I've had them, and I'm not the best looking dude. Like, look at me. Look at me. Am I the best looking dude ever? No. I mean, shit. If I can get Asian girls, then Jamil can get Asian girls. I'm just saying, man. But Jamil, he's a pretty stereotypical incel guy. He's got this really defeatist attitude where for some reason he can't get money. He can't build up money and get himself a passport and go over there and get him an Asian girl. And I'm pretty sure someone like Jamil wouldn't mind getting a prostitute either on top of that. You see, so like it's so easy for Jamil that it's so easy for him to get what he wants, and he still hasn't gotten it. That speaks volumes about the problem with Jamil the King, you know. And that's more or less why I got onto him the way I did, because he's an asshole on top of all this stuff too. On top of being a pathetic dude, he's an asshole too. But you know, that's point number one. That's point number one. To literally just Jamil the King, and a lot of guys in this community are just like him. Like David Harrow just said, he finds him relatable. If you find Jamil relatable, you got some issues, man. I'm just letting you know, you got some issues if you find Jamil relatable. The only thing relatable about him is being a black dude that likes Asian girls. That's true for me too, but I got Asian girls. So, like, that relatability only goes so far, even with me. So, now, point number two. Point number two. I've said this before too. Inqels are not necessarily good dudes. What I mean by that, dude, I will tell you, like a lot of the worst people that I've met in general have usually come from the Inqel community. A lot of the, like, I get it. A lot of normies, a lot of people like this, they can be some pretty bad people too. But generally, with normies, there's a theme, there's a pattern. There's usually something you did to trigger like normies to come after you. Like as long as you don't say shit, do shit, or put yourself out there in a stupid way, as long as you don't like step too far out in the spot, like generally normies ain't gonna fuck with you. But Inquels on the other hand, oh ho ho, Inquels are the very motherfuckers that as soon as I spoke about having a girlfriend, for instance, Inquels, like they came out in droves against me when I first said that I had a girlfriend one time. You know, they're like Inquels are like this crabs in the bucket mentality. Are Inquels good dudes? I mean, the Inquel community should be proof enough that most Inquels aren't really good dudes. Like, look at some of the petty, selfish shit that Inquels say. Like, a lot of the Inquel community is focused on me, I. Oh, I can't get a girl. Or have you considered that you don't really do shit for people? Like, I mean, yeah, I get it. It's hard out here. Like, I know women are really on some bullshit these days, but I mean, what are you doing? Like, who are you? Are you necessarily a good person? Like, see, a lot of Inquels are not necessarily good dudes. Because if they weren't Inquels, if Inquels weren't Inquels, a lot of them would be just like what you see normies are like, which is you guys know what I'm talking about. They'd be narcissistic, they'd be flexing on Inquels, they'd be they'd be just the same as any other normie dude in society. Pretty much. They'd have all the same character flaws, they'd have all the same dumb shit. They do literally everything just like what normies do if Inquels were no longer Inquels. So are Inquels necessarily good dudes? Just because you can't get a bitch don't mean you a good dude. I've been saying this many times. This is a fallacy. This is just like assuming that poor people are also good people. Like, poor people aren't necessarily good people. Poor people is where the low lives are. That's where the lowest of the low are, like the criminals, the scammers, the robbers, the thieves, the rapists, the grapers, the child dealers, all these people of the underworld, that's where, like, they're amongst the poor people. So it's just like how, Christianity or like these religions assume that poor people are necessarily good. You can't assume that Inquels are necessarily good dudes. A lot of these Inquels, if given a chance, would cheat on their girls. They They would dog out girls. They would treat girls all kind of. They would leave girls with kids and shit like this. Oh yeah, a lot of the shit that Chad gets away with, like Inqels would do the same thing if given the opportunity. Inqels are not necessarily good dudes. This is point number two, though. This is a fallacy. This is a common fallacy that Inqels tend to believe about themselves. It's like, first of all, you need to kind of be objective about who you really are. You know, like I'm pretty sure some of you guys will even be able to admit this about yourself, that you're not necessarily a good dude. You're not necessarily, if you had the opportunity, like if girls were after you like that, would you be a good dude? I don't think you would. And of course you would. Of course you would, because why would you? Why would you? So basically what I'm saying here is that the condition that you find yourself in does not say anything about your moral character, guys. So hold on, let me read more comments. Corellis Chunkus says, do you consider Indian girls Asian? No. I mean, they are South Asian, but I don't consider that Asian. Like, you guys know what I'm talking about when I say Asian. When I say Asian, I mean East Asian and like Southeast Asian. Although a lot of people don't consider Southeast Asian real Asian too. Most people, when they say Asian, they mean Japanese, Chinese, Korean. Maybe you throw Vietnamese in there too. That's usually what they mean. But when I say Asian, I mean all that plus Southeast Asian. So no, I don't consider Indian girls Asian. I don't consider Indian girls Asian. Straight says, Jamil the King is a failed normie. I mean, well, that's most people in this community, though, Straight. Like, I don't think that's really saying much to say that you're a failed normie. I mean, unless you're a true cell, it doesn't really say much to say that you're a failed normie, because most guys in this community are failed normies. Like, they failed in some kind of way, obviously, for them to end up in the black pill. And by the way, I'll get to what it means to be in the black pill in a second here. But a column man says, Jamil may be able to get a girl from the Philippines if he has the money and better attitude, or a choboy Thai single mom with cornrows. Good God, man. That is a grotesque image you put in my head, man. Fucking choboy Thai single mom with cornrows? Like, holy shit. So basically a strag Thai girl? Nah, man, I think he's better off being an incel forever than getting with some shit like that. Kevin Storr said, I don't like blue pillar normies one bit, but think they're right is that equal community doesn't support one another at all. You're right. That's basically what I'm telling you guys in this live stream, guys. The equal community don't support each other. You know, this is a lot of the reason why I came up with the gold pill, by the way. The gold pill is all about perfection, excellence, like building yourself up, and then networking with guys who have also built themselves up in this way. So this is why I came up with the gold pill thing, the monastic thing, because I recognize that the inqel community doesn't really support each other in the ways that they could. Okay, it's already a lie in the first place. You can't do anything. Like, it's not over for most of you guys. Most of you guys are not true selves. If you're not a true cell, it's not over. I mean, come on. You guys gonna sit here and say, oh, it's over. It's over. Like, bro, women are out here fantasizing about getting fucked by dinosaurs. They're fantasizing about getting fucked by dinosaurs, monsters, giant spiders, fucking yetis, Bigfoot, like just tentacle monsters. Come on, dude. If women are fantasizing about shit like that, then what the fuck are you thinking that you can't get a girl as an ugly guy? That's not true at all. Like, all these fucking pot-belly, short, acne, subhuman looking guys from the third row that I see that's got women, and you might want to say, oh, bro, those women are poor, though. They ain't got no... Bro, the internet exists. The internet exists. These women do got options. They got more options than you think they do, and they still with these dudes. I really don't... Like, this is why I kind of don't buy into the whole lookism thing myself, personally. Yeah, lookism is true to a degree, but is it as true as what the BP have you think it is? I don't think so. I've never really bought that. Because again, why are women having fantasies about getting gangbanged by monsters and dinosaurs and like animals and shit? Like the dog pill, women are attracted to dogs, and you saying you can't get one, or that I don't buy that shit, man. I think there's more to it than just I'm ugly, so I can't get a nah. The BP kind of led a couple of you guys astray when it comes to that, to say the least. But that's a whole separate rant that I could do a whole separate live stream on. As a matter of fact, I may do that. But let's catch up with these comments. Straight says the fact seemed that guys like Jamil with but straight man, I can't read your fucking comments half the time, dude. Speak English. Evan Store said Inkies hate Chad, but they would do the same thing Chad is doing if they were good looking. Yep. It's basically what point number 2 is. Wrong one said Inkies are the type of dudes who have 10 kids living in a trailer park. I mean, if they were doing that, I don't think they would be in the BP, though, would they? The column man said, I agree. Rather be alone than with a grotesque woman like that, but Jamil might go for it and probably could get it. The juice isn't worth the squeeze on my side, though. Darzog said, zero snuggle policy. Just turn me into a spider theory. Buddy. Evan Store said, truth, the sub-8 theory is a meme. When I go out clubbing or just walk outside, it's all skinny, fat, average height guys with girls above an NT Chad pulls more, but normies average guys do get laid in real life. Darzog said, modern women expect to wear the pants. Why oofy doofy is matter right now. Yeah, well, I'm just saying there's more to it than just, you don't look a certain way, guys. There's more to it than that. I think the whole dark triad thing is like severely underrated with women because and I've experienced this too. If you're able to get in on a woman and like kind of force your will onto her, women will submit. I've experienced that before. Enough times to say there's definitely something more to that than just, you gotta look like a fucking flip-wristed e-boy to get a fucking girl. I don't buy that. Okay, let's continue with my point. So, point number 3. Point number 3, why Inqels deserve insodom. Okay, Darzog. You ready, Darzog? Because this was going to apply to you, boy. Point number 3. Rampant racism in the Inqel community. Yeah, we're gonna go there. We're gonna blow this wide open, okay? Because this needs to be said. I do think this needs to be said. The fact that there's so many fucking racists, and not just white racists, but there's like all these ethnic guys that are like also white supremacists for some fucking reason. All these ethnics that are also like that, and like even some black folks in this community too are like, like they super duper racist. And you know what? Racism in the modern world, and if you're a racist in the modern world, when you see all this miscegenation going on, when you see all these white guys getting with ethnic women, when you see all these black guys that's trying to get it in with anything that's not black, pretty much. When you see all this miscegenation going on in the modern world, and that's only increasing, by the way. For you to live in this world and still be a racist, like, what is racism? Racism is when you take a whole group of people and you say, that group of people is bad because of some kind of immutable characteristic about them. So you're basically giving collective guilt to every single individual of that group. That's immoral, dude. That is immoral because, for you to say that completely just condemns. And by the way, the end result of racism is genocide, by the way. So basically what I'm getting at here is that to be a racist, like a lot of guys are in this community, you basically are like a low IQ fucking moron, pretty much. Like that is some tribal fucking shit. That is like something that the world is definitely, inevitably gonna move away from. I mean, like the way that the world is going, like you might want to say, racism is cool again, bro. Yeah, I know MAGA came in and made the shit cool again, but I think that shit's temporary, man. That shit, like the general tide of the world is moving away from that shit. Even if you got little clips where, oh, these fucking racist incels now suddenly can get their foot in the door with MAGA, okay, that shit is immoral. Anybody that's like got a above a room temperature IQ knows that shit is immoral. Like hell, even with me, I'm a little bit racist when it comes to Indian people. But even with me, when it comes to that, it's not like, oh, just because you Indian, I'm gonna just automatically hate you. You know, it's not like that. The reason why I'll say I don't like Indian people is because like a lot of them do actually end up just kind of acting a way that I don't like. Yeah, that's what it more so is, and I think a lot of even you racist types would agree with that. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna automatically fucking just, oh, you Indian, therefore I don't like you. It usually comes down to a fucking behavior, and I recognize accurately that that's immoral too. So the end result of like racist ass shit is that you're gonna fucking go and mass delete this group of people you don't like. Basically, that's the inevitable end result of it. Because when you're racist, you create content that's dehumanizing toward that group of people. You know, like look at all these racist memes that get passed around on the internet. Like, what is the purpose of that shit? The purpose of that shit is to dehumanize. What is the purpose of the humanization? The purpose of dehumanizing a group of people is so that you can desensitize yourself enough so that you can then go out and just delete that group of people. You're desensitizing them. You're dehumanizing them because you want to delete them, basically. So the end result of racism is always that. Therefore, racism is bad, and a lot of people in this community are racist. So you've got this deficiency in you. A lot of you. Like, come on, guys. I don't want to see no fucking racist motherfucker reproduce. Like, that's not. You obviously deserve to fucking die out along with that fucking outdated ideology if you are like this. And a lot of guys in this community are like that. So, hold on. Yeah, Darzog, I know I gotta ignore you in this section because. Or actually, never mind. Hold on. I'll read your comments, Darzog. I'll read your comments. Darzog said, I've never said black boyos are evil or something. Yeah, but you be telling us to go to fucking Africa, dude. Like, what the fuck is up with that? You're a self-admitted racist. So, Heaven's Door said the reason why Inky community is racist is because the teenage boys want to hit fit somewhere and they daydream of being a World War II soldier hating on racists all day. It helps them cope with insulting. I mean, yeah, that's one part of it, but then it's like, okay, well, you're in a bad position though. You're low status. You want to like the position of you being in a low status and then trying to like elevate yourself by hating on a group of people that you think are lower than, like you're trying to put other people beneath you basically to prop yourself up. Dude, that's just pathetic. If you really think about this, you trying to put other people down to elevate yourself. That's pathetic, dude. That is fucking pathetic. Like think about that for a second. That is like I can't respect that. I can't respect it at all. So, I mean, that's definitely one big argument against, like, even from that angle. But I get it. I get it. Darzog said, this is the same exact thing for white people as you said about Indians. The end result is competition and there will be losers. The whole U.S. is racist against whites. What do you mean? Dude, how can a nation be racist against the majority group, dude? Like, America is a white nation. This is their country. There's plenty of white neighborhoods. There's plenty of white areas. There's plenty of this shit. If you wanted to never associate with anybody that wasn't white, you could actually do that in America if you really wanted to do that. You really honestly could do that, you know. Like, what are you talking about? The common man says, quit playing victim. Bro, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, bro. Yep. Hold on, I'm gonna kind of skip through some of these comments here because there's a lot of them. Okay, well, I don't want to spend too much more time on point number 3, but I mean another thing with point number 3 too. Like, racism's kind of self-defeating, guys. So, like, a lot of you, especially like you white guys, can get ethnic women. But if you're a racist, like, you're probably not going to do that, you know? You're probably not going to do that. So, hey, hold on, boyos. Hold on, boyos. One of my friends actually wants to come on the stream right now, so I'm going to have to shoot him a link. Give me a second. I'll try to work him in here. Okay, yeah, one of my monastic brothers actually wants to come on the live stream, guys. So I think we're gonna wrap this topic up soon. I said I was only gonna spend the first 30 minutes on it, but hold on. Yeah, one of my monastic friends wants to come on here in a second. So you guys will finally get to meet a member of my monastic order that I've been talking about this whole time. Exciting, right? Okay, let's go through some of these points though first. So let's move on to point number 4. Point number 4 of why inquels deserve to be inquel is because, I mean, this is pretty simple, guys. A lot of you guys have nothing to offer. Yeah, so it's just straight up. A lot of you guys working wage slave jobs. You don't got that much money. Maybe you don't look the best. Maybe you ain't got too much going on. I've seen this happen a lot of times where, like, you know, again, this is why I kind of dismissed the whole looks thing too, by the way. I've seen this happen where, like, this ugly motherfucking guy that does absolutely nothing still somehow has a girlfriend or whatever. So, like, they'll be just sitting around playing video games, wiping their ass, taking shits, eating shit, fucking don't got a job. The girl takes care of him. Like, that kind of guy obviously has nothing to offer a guy. And I really don't blame a woman for not wanting to be with that type of guy. But, like, there's not an insignificant amount of incels that are also just like that guy, too. That just, you straight up don't have anything to offer. And, you know, a lot of women feel like if a guy can't, like, make their life better or whatever. Ah, shit, guys. Fuck, my friend just said he's not gonna... He thought I was talking about a fucking voice chat. Man, this fucking guy. My friend thought I was talking about being on voice chat. No, I'm talking about being on a live stream, man. Like, that's what I fucking said. The fuck, man. Hold on, let me message him right quick. Give me a second, guys. Okay, well, he said he'll still join. He said he'll still join, but he wasn't expecting it to be a live stream. So I mean, well, that's cool. I hope he I'm still cool with him showing up, even though he was expecting something different here. But to sum up point number 4, though, it's just I guess you guys, some of you guys aren't like this. So there's a fair amount of you guys that aren't like this. Like, I think some of you guys actually do have something to offer a girl, but, like, maybe it's not enough. Like, women have inflated fucking standards these days, dude. Like, women are fucking delusional. Western women especially, but even a lot of these foreign women these days are getting pretty up there, like, pretty fucking delusional, guys. So, like, I think some of you actually do have something to offer a girl to where you could elevate her life, but it may not be enough for them. So, like, most guys might struggle with that too. Like, you don't have to be an incel to struggle with that necessarily, but you guys know what I'm talking about. There's definitely a subset in the Inqel space that have absolutely nothing, and they still crying about they can't get no pussy. Where it's like, no wonder you can't get no pussy, guy. Like, yeah, you ain't got shit to offer. Like, shit, I don't even want to hang around you as a friend. You know, like, some guys are just that down bad. But hold on. So to close this out, to finish this off, point number 5 is important. Point number 5, for why I think a lot of inquels don't deserve to not be an inquel, basically, is that the BP community itself, is a self-reinforcing loop. Yeah, this community, here's the problem with the BP. Yeah, you do learn a lot of things being part of the BP. What is the BP? The BP's got nothing to do with women, really. The BP, the black pill, is just a concept. So, you know, like the BP is just the concept that there's no personal solution to systemic problems. So you can apply this concept across all aspects of life, really. But a lot of you guys in this community just kind of take it as like the woman thing. Oh, I can't get no bitches. Like, a lot of you guys really do believe that's what the BP is. That's not what the BP is, guys. But this community does nonetheless end up being a self-reinforcing loop, because it's like, okay, you get here, you learn the truth, you learn all these things, and then these truths kind of make you guys fall into this like depression, this little dark place where you decide, oh, well, if I can't get a woman, I'm not going to do shit. I'm just going to sit here and self-sabotage. I'm going to smoke weed. I'm going to drink. I'm going to sit in my room and just be a neat fucking, like, don't take showers no more. Like, that happens to a lot of guys that come into this community, unfortunately. It's like you guys would be better off if you didn't learn the truth. Pretty much, there's a lot of guys like this that would be better off if they didn't learn the truth. So the BP in a bad way just becomes a self-reinforcing loop, because then you go and you watch other guys talk about how they're also in this loop of not getting bitches too, and just kind of being a neat, sitting around, not doing much, not contemplating much, don't give a fuck, unmotivated. You'll watch content for guys like this, and it just kind of encourages you to also continue doing what you're doing too. And so, like I said, it just creates this negative self-reinforcing loop. Now, this isn't the only thing. The other part of this too is that if you're in the BP and you're in this BP mentality, you're definitely not going to be able to get a woman while you're in the BP too. Yeah, as long as you're in this community, that in of itself becomes the repellent for a woman. So, like, what my friend that's about to come on in a second, he told me this with his ex. You know, he had a girlfriend, and he started getting into the BP when he sensed that the relationship was going to end, and basically, like, he started talking about like black pill shit with the girl, and the girl just immediately was like, "Why the fuck are you listening to this shit? This is some pathetic shit, man." Like, and women are absolutely going to pick up on that negative vibe that you're giving off being part of this community. That is some bitch repellent, man. I'm telling you, like, I have to really self-censor myself, because I do know the BP. Whenever I talk to women and shit like this, I have to heavily self-censor myself from dropping any type of a BP related thing at all. Because, yeah, women naturally kind of know this shit is pathetic, and it is. They're not wrong. This is not how a man's supposed to be, guys. Like, yeah, you do learn some pretty important truths in this community, but at the same time, this community becomes your prison. It becomes this self-reinforcing loop. And so that is kind of like an underrated reason why inquels end up deserving insultum, is because staying in this community, or at least being in this incel mentality, is itself kind of holding you back from getting a woman if you so much want one, you know? Now, I'll tell you guys that there's a lot more important shit that you should be worried about other than women. Most definitely. Like, have you not seen the way the economy's going right now? What's happening politically in the world right now? Like, there's a lot of shit happening in the near future that it's going to be like a woman's going to be the last thing on your mind. But I'm just saying, if you really want a woman and shit like this, the BP definitely might be holding you back if you are in this self-defeating loop that I'm talking about here. You know? So, anyways, guys, with that being said, those are my 5 points of why a lot of inquels end up deserving inquotum. So, with that being said, now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to post the link to join the StreamYard into the chat. So if you want to come on, you can join through the link, and I'll add you as soon as I see you backstage. So there you go. The link is out. Now I'll be waiting for anybody who wants to join to come on. But tell me, guys, what do you guys think about these hard hitting points that I just dropped here? A lot of incels really aren't ready to elevate out of this community, though. A lot of incels just they either aren't ready, or they've kind of like they're not good people really. To like, let's say if you were an inquel and then you suddenly found like a woman or some shit, like a good woman, one that's not gonna cheat on you or leave you or anything like this. Like, okay, well, what if you just not really a good dude yourself though, and then you went from being an inquel to like suddenly abusing this woman that decided to give you a chance? That's happened with me before. I've kind of taken good women for granted before when I've had them at times. I think a lot of you guys are going to end up doing shit like this too if you ever kind of ascend out of this space, or you so-called get a woman or whatever, or like a woman maybe takes a chance on you. I think some of you guys might end up in that same situation that I ended up in myself. So the link is posted. If you want to come on, talk to me, like we'll shoot the shit. We'll spend the rest of the stream shooting the shit. And hold on. Let me message my friend right quick. See if he's still coming. Need to make sure. Just give me a second, guys. Hold on. Okay. He said he'll be on in about 10 to 15 minutes. Hey, Darzog, you want to come on, buddy? It's been a while since I spoke to you in voice chat. Okay, let me read some comments. Let me go back up and read some comments here. A lot of comments. Damn, how far up do I gotta scroll? Okay, we'll stop here. Darzog said, U.S. Western white boys gave you Liberia. That is your civilizational ability on your own. This is undisputed, bro. Dude, well, not everybody went to Liberia, man. So, like, my ancestors didn't go to Liberia, Darzog. My ancestors didn't go there. And by the way, last I heard about Liberia, like the native, like African Americans that went over there and founded that country, like most of these people have been like kind of bred out by the local Africans now. So it's not even like, and that's the reason why Liberia kind of went to shit too. Liberia is basically no better than the rest of Africa now. It's pretty much what happened. Like all the African American colonists that came there, they got bred out basically, pretty much. So, I mean, Liberia ain't got shit to do with me now. Maybe if the African Americans were still running that place and it was still prosperous, maybe that would be something. But like Liberia's fallen hard. So basically, Darzal, what you're telling us to do there is just to go there and get fucking killed or some shit, because that's exactly what happened. That's not a solution. This is like this non-solution shit that a lot of you white guys that throw at us black boyos a lot of the time. Ikawa Man says, if the U.S. is racist to whites, it is because other whites see it as beneficial. Blacks are only alone for the right at best. Yep. Ikawa Man, that is very well put. Wrong one said, dude is on the spectrum. Autism plus trauma equals inquel. Well, I don't know who you're talking about there. Are you talking about me? Heaven's Door said, same, bro. Gen Z is beyond desensitized, and it's gonna get worse. There's no fixing. Yeah, definitely. We don't have a world for anything to get fixed as it is right now, as far as I can tell. Darzak said, Emperor Dion, for example, 2 years ago, Denver Major wanted an only white tax. After all this, you are surprised white people go away and create racist settlements. Man, dude, what are you talking about? I've never heard of nothing like that. Like, who proposed that, and did it get taken seriously, and is it in effect now? Like you're talking about somebody talking about doing something, but they actually do it, Darzog. Wrong one said, yeah, keep having convos about why you're down bad all day. Yeah, man, Darzog's sitting here saying all that shit, and meanwhile he got a beautiful Filipina girlfriend. So I mean, don't really get sucked in by one of his arguments there. Darzog said, Heaven's Door, brace yourself for the hard times, boyo. I want a colony in Asia. I'll be a modern colonizer soon. Hey, Darzog, the Filipino dudes will probably kick your ass, man. Like, bro, them Filipinos, they got fucking machetes. If they want to deal with you, they'll come break in your house and chop you up like a fucking salami or something. They'll turn you into sashimi if they really think you go be on there on some bullshit. Like, bro, especially the Philippines. Like, the Philippines been through 2 colonization eras, and I don't think they want to go back to that shit. I mean, especially since they're getting at their women too, by the way. I mean, I've heard some rumors that Filipino boyos are starting to get really tired of this shit. Wrong one said, you need some medicine and autism treatment. Oh, so you were talking about Darzog there. Okay. Darzog said, Philippines needs a new nobility and their skin will be pale boyo. Man, what are you talking about? If anything, dude, Darzog, if anything, they're going to wipe your ass the fuck out. The Filipinos are going to still be dark. They're going to remain dark. Trust me that. I'm pretty sure. You can trust to believe the Filipinos are going to remain dark unless you white boyos come there in some real numbers and start subjugating the place, which you're not going to do, by the way. You're not going to do that. Like what? You got a bunch of old dudes there. Like that's mainly what you see in the Philippines. I've been there. I've been to the Philippines at least 3 times. You see nothing but a bunch of these old fucking white dudes there. Like, and most of these guys just get scammed. Like a lot of you guys get scammed out of your money and just kick the fuck out, basically. Like they scam you, they defraud you, and then they deport your ass. Like they freaking use you up, get your money, and spit you the fuck out. This is happening to you white guys, by the way. This happening to more to y'all than it is to anybody else. So, are you really gonna colonize anything, Darzog? I think you better chill. Darzog said, I'm a lawyer, bucko. Oh, you're a lawyer? I'm a lawyer, bucko. I'll have my own firm in 5 years with one added other business. Emperor Dion, collectivizing is the only solution to systemic problems. Well, Darzog, you're not collectivizing. You're going to Asia. How are you collectivizing, Darzog? You're not collectivizing. You went to Asia. You already threw any kind of pretense of race loyalty out of the window. I don't know why you even continue with this shit, man. Darzog said, that's only for cucks. I link my girlfriend regularly BP content. She watches it. She literally is my property. Dude, Darzog, you might be able to do that for a couple years, but I strongly believe you gonna be in for one hell of a wake-up call one day, man. You were in for one hell of a wake-up call. Women, the thing about women is that they're very good at masking. They're very good at telling what the fuck they want you to believe. They're very good at conformity. But really and truly, honestly, all it takes is for the system to come in and program your girl the way they want to, and suddenly you don't know who the fuck she is anymore. If you like Darzog, I think you really misunderstand the black pill. If you really think that you got this girl under your control, you have not learned shit about the black pill at all. Straight says, do you think wage sales and the community makes most Inqels neat? I don't know what you're trying to ask there, Straight. Darzog said, if you censor yourself, you are a cuck in the relationship. Dude, Darzog, bro, you about to get one hell of a wake-up call, and I don't want to hear shit when you get it, man. I don't want to fucking hear it when you get it. Let me set the camera right here. Tactical Tune, what's up? What's up, man? I see you got the Clippy emoji on your profile picture. Darzok said, I'll need to register on Discord. They want my phone up. Dude, you don't need to register on Discord to come here. I'm on StreamYards. You don't need to go to Discord to come on here. Darzok says, so you were special from African cause what? I'm special. Like, dude, Darzok, am I African, man? I'm not an African. I don't have the same biology as them. I can't eat the same food that Africans eat, Darzok. For starters, I don't have the same accent as them, Darzok. I don't speak the same language as them. I don't have the same culture as them. We probably would disagree on some things. The only thing in common is the skin hue, Darzok. That's it. A lot of these Africans don't look anything like me. I don't look like no African. A lot of Black Americans don't look like no Africans. Special because of what? There's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of things I can point to as to why Black Americans ain't got shit to do with Africans, dude. The fuck? Akawa Man said, beautiful Filipina, oxymoron to me, bro. Man, Akawa Man, you down bad for the Japanese girls, man. Nah, them Filipinas, some of them Filipinas can get it, man. I mean, I'm not the most, I don't like Filipinas the most myself, but I mean, I'm not going to sit here and cope and say there ain't no good looking ones. Definitely not. Now, that's some cope if you say that there aren't no good looking ones. But I mean, I also kind of agree too that if I had the chance, or like just purely like sexually speaking, like who's the most sexually attractive, I'd probably go with like Japanese, Chinese, Korean too. I mean, that's just keeping it real, guys. That's just keeping it real. Okay, Darzog, man, I've got to stop reading your comments before you piss me the fuck off, man. I'm gonna stop reading your comments before you piss me the fuck off, and I gotta do something about you. But shit, where the fuck is my friend? He said he was gonna be on here in like a few minutes. Hold on, let me check back on him. Hopefully I can get one of my other friends on too. Darzog, if you wanna, like, are you free to come on, Darzog? Like, I actually wouldn't mind letting everybody hear you speak on here. Like, aren't you tired of typing? Yeah, Darzog is for those of you who don't know, Darzog is a Slav, by the way. Just for some context. So that's why he's here saying weird shit. Because he's not a Westerner, really. He's a Eastern guy. So Darzog is on some weird fucking shit. He's not even a fucking Westerner at all. Why is that the case, Bucko? Why is that the case? Because look at what you're saying, dude. Like, Darzog, imagine if I was saying the same shit to you that you saying to me. Would you seriously sit here and take that shit? Because it's low-key getting disrespectful when you say stuff like that, and you don't understand that. But you can't just run around saying disrespectful shit to people. Like, you acting like I'm responsible for, like, what Black people are doing. Like, I ain't responsible for shit. I'm responsible for what I'm doing at the end of the day. Okay? There's a level of, like, kind of judging people by their race and whatever like this, but there's also a whole different level where it's like, okay, like, I could judge you as an individual too. Like, this is kind of what makes humans higher than animals do. Like, you want to sit here and say, oh, racism is natural, bro. Everything that's natural isn't good, though. Like, cancer's natural. Is cancer good? Like, you want to be higher than a fucking animal. Like, are you better than an animal? Are you worthy of being called a human fucking being? Then act like it. Why can't you just judge people by individuals and why can't you just see the nuance and shit? Because the shit you're saying, Darzog, it shows me that you don't have any fucking nuance at all in your thinking and your opinion. And it's like, if you don't have any nuance, that means you have a narrative. What is that narrative you want to push? What if the narrative is that, oh, you just want to hate Black people, pretty much? Yeah. So do you see, like, this line of thinking that I'm taking you through, Darzog, as to why I might want might not want to hear the shit that you're saying, or why I might take offense to what you're saying. This line of thinking where you're just kind of like ignoring any type of nuance, not really saying shit that tells me that you understand really anything at all about it. Like, come on, man. You're supposed to give people the benefit of the doubt, at least individually, you know. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, but Darzog still, like you say, yeah, you say I'm a decent guy, but you still can't just sit here and just talk about like whole groups of people the way you do, because that still shows me that you don't have any fucking nuanced thought about this. Like if it was really what you said, I think people wouldn't mind. Complete whatever. Let's not even get into that. My friend just came on. Here we go. I'm gonna add him to the call.
Hey guys,
What's
can you
up?
hear me?
What's
Do
up,
you guys
Based
hear me?
Orca? Yeah,
Hello?
we hear you. Well, hold on.
Oh,
Let me turn
okay.
you up.
Yeah, I got a Bluetooth headset on. I'm not sure how good it is for this.
Okay, it should be really good now.
All right.
Anyways,
You guys
so
hear me?
yeah, we hear you.
All right. Just
So,
a little
anyways,
introduction, if you don't mind. I'm based Orca. I used to run a BP content, like a BP channel here on YouTube, but I privated all my stuff, and then I came back after like a year, and then I privated all my stuff again, and then I made two videos that I don't know, maybe they're a little BP related, but they're really about this fictional book trilogy called The Remembrance of Earth's Past. I just thought it was kind of relevant for the BP community, but I wanted to step out of it, or at least to only provide stuff that actually is is something that could help people. You know, I felt like I'd already done enough damage as it was, kind of enabling the patheticism and just, kind of being a reasonably well argued person who could kind of argue for why giving up was kind of the good thing. So I felt like I had some damage to undo, a little bit of a bad conscience.
yeah, so yeah, Orca used to run a BP channel, sort of, kind of. That's kind of how we met. And to low key, his channel was actually blowing up for a little bit too when I first found him. It's just he stopped making content because he kind of didn't jive with the whole incel message. Like same way, kind of like me. You know, I made like a few incel type videos in the past, but it's like after a while, I just kind of looked and was like, you know what? There's things that could be done here. There's things that could be improved here. You know, it's not so much that it's over. It's just like, is it really even worth it anymore in the Western world, pretty much? And
I
like
mean,
with
just
the way things are going too, like is it truly over? Or is it that I just don't want to participate anymore? And that's kind of the same conclusion that Orca came to why he made a stop making his BP content. But I
yeah,
mean,
exactly. I figured I gotta do something else. Like, I can't just give up on life. You know, I'd made a very inspirational video. The final video I posted on my channel, it's not actually called Based Orca, that channel. It used to be, but I renamed it to The Beautiful One. But yeah, if you check out The Beautiful One, there's two pretty decent videos there. The first one is about how you shouldn't allow women to have any kind of authority in your life, how it will only lead to ruin. And the second video is basically a giant wake up call, a big kick in the ass, to just kind of really, the message was for me initially. Like that entire video I made there, the second one on the Beautiful One channel, it was all for me. It was like a big wake up message, a kick in the ass. Go get out there and do something about your life. Go out there and live. You know, you can't just sit here and complain. You gotta actually, go do something. And actually, that video, making that script, like all the editing and stuff, it basically just cemented the idea that that final speech in the video, you can scroll to like 15 minutes or so in the video. It's quite a long video, but the
let me
speech
read
at
this
the end is
comment.
the oh yeah.
Metacant asks, Metacant asks you, what's your opinion about C maxing?
I mean, Well, for me personally, even though I don't want to be a doomer, I don't want to like spread this idea of, just give up. It's not worth it anymore. But for me, honestly, I just don't really need women in general. I'm just kind of disgusted at what a modern woman is these
Yeah,
days.
same,
Like
same.
I really honestly don't want someone with a pretty high double digit body count. And that's if I'm lucky. A lot of them got 3 digits. Like, I don't want that. I'm good, I don't want to be the next sucker.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, at this point, if you're dealing with Western women, that's pretty much what you're lining up to do. And it's
But
like,
honestly, and this is about the SEA maxing or the C maxing. Like, honestly, I think globalization has come so far now that, for all intents and purposes, there's not a large difference anymore. Of course, you can find pockets like in Southeast Asia. You can find pockets where it's kind of different, or at least they present themselves to be different. But really, how different is it? They grew up on YouTube like the rest of us. They grew up on American media like the rest of us, right? It's not like they grew up in some fucking jungle with no internet connection. Come on now. They live in big cities and stuff.
I
They
mean,
know what's up.
honestly, I would say that's not even like, I think it's really not that much different from the West at this point because, like, I've dealt with like more than like I've dealt with a lot of girls from that part of the world at this point, and like the conclusion that I come to just dealing with them is like, okay, while they will let you fuck, pretty much, it's just like they're only letting you do that because maybe you're exotic from what they're used to, and once they get accustomed to you, you're gonna get basically the same thing that you're gonna get in the West, but the only difference being maybe the laws are a bit different, so you won't get fucked over as much in the long term dealing with them, but you're still gonna get more or less the same deal inevitably. That's what it comes down
In my
to.
opinion, in my opinion, they're one step removed from Western women. There's not really
They
that much
are.
of a difference. And most of the difference is really just a matter of acting. It's really just a matter of selling the fantasy of what you think a Southeast Asian woman is gonna be like.
Or yeah, really any of these girls around the world though, like even with because I've talked to African girls before too. I haven't talked to any Hispanic girls before though. I will admit
Mm.
I don't have any experience there. But I have talked to like Slav women before, even like, so, oh my god, Slav women are kind of, they're in some ways they're worse than Western women, I would say. But basically, guys, like the BP rings true on this. There's no personal solution to systemic problems. This is really worldwide. This is an endemic issue of what a woman fundamentally is, guys. So, I mean, in a way, Inquotum could be a little bit of a blessing. Maybe Inquotum is protecting you from going through some shit that's just going to ruin your life, you know? That is the case for some of you guys, at least, at the very least.
I mean, I'll admit I'm kind of open to meeting a woman. Like, some parts of the idea of having a woman be into me is appealing, but
Oh,
when
yeah.
I snap back to reality and I get a little more realistic about what I'm walking into, it just repels me immediately. I become repulsed by the thought because I know how this shit ends. I've been in relationships and they all end the same way basically, and I've been through the ringer enough. I think I've learned by now.
Yeah, could you
But
tell them a little bit about your background? Because, like, your story was kind of a little bit interesting.
I
Like, you
mean,
weren't,
I've had 4 relationships. I had my first. I mean, you're talking about my relationship history.
well, like, just the one that the main one, like the
Oh,
last
the
one you
most
had.
recent one, the
Yeah.
5 year long relationship. I mean, it was just it was just brutal, man. Uh, like, what part specifically do you want to hear about? It was kind of a long one.
But like I'm kind of trying to like set up your background a little bit, so it's like, well, I can kind of explain this a bit myself. Like,
Mm, mm,
Orca, he's not really like a incel per se. I mean, because he didn't grow up being an inquel. Like, he had like girls at various times throughout his life. He's got like a relatively what y'all would probably think of as a high body count. So basically, Orca is like I don't want to call him Chad, but I mean he was getting it back in the day. But like this, his
I'm more like
example.
a I'm more like a failed almost chat light, not quite. I don't know how to
Well,
put it.
yeah, like well, a lot of guys in this
Like a
community would
above
kind of
average,
just.
but kind of failed at the same time. You know, I was an incel there for a couple of years, like basically the 2 years immediately after my ex. I was an incel as an involuntary, right? And I just couldn't like get with women. Like they were just weird, you know. They changed quite a bit in the past 5 years. You know, things had gotten a lot worse. Hypergamy had gotten insane in the time I had been in that relationship for 5 years. So when I came out of that relationship, it was like stepping out onto a new planet in terms of dating, at least. And what I saw was very alien as well, and very disgusting and repulsive. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm good here. I think I'm good. Like last time I was looking at girls, like they had a body count between 5 and 10. And now it's like I can't even find one with a single digit. What am I doing here? This is a waste of time, you know? And
Yeah.
he said I had a high body count. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I mean, it's not above 15. Okay, I'm not gonna give you the specific number, but it's not above 15, so it's not crazy. But I
Well,
am
like, you
31.
got to
You know,
understand though, man. Like there's guys in this community that's got zero, and to, like that's.
But listen, the only reason I even have a double digit is because of my birth year. You know, it all has to do with the fact that I'm 31 and, you know, I was just from a different time. You have to understand that when I was in high school, there was no such thing as social media. People sent SMSs to each other, you know, and I lived out on the countryside and you couldn't like in my home country in Denmark, you don't get driver's licenses young and stuff, so we couldn't like drive around and stuff. Basically, the girls were limited to only dating and hooking up with the guys in their immediate community in their town or in their school or whatever. And because of that, all of a sudden, I became a very appealing option. You know, I wasn't white, I wasn't blonde, I wasn't blue-eyed, I was different, you know, and they couldn't go
Yeah,
anywhere
the
else.
exotic
And
factor.
yeah, exactly. So that's basically the only reason I grew out on out in the boonies in Denmark, and yeah, I was different looking, you know, and above average looking, and pretty damn tall as well.
But basically though, like kind of the example you can glean from Mango's experience, from Orca's experience, I mean, is that you can kind of
Mango is my
see.
nickname.
Yeah, Mango's his other nickname, but like basically it kind of tells you that like something has definitely happened to where it's gotten harder and harder, and people
Oh,
overthink.
we can't hear you, man. There's some air there.
Hold on, hello.
Yeah, we hear you now.
So basically, the example that Orca's background gives you is that the whole woman thing has gotten harder, hard. Like whole inflation has gone up, like throughout our lives,
Oh,
and like you know, Orca's not an ugly guy in real life either. He definitely mocks the hell out of me for sure, and like he still occasionally like gets girls staring him down, but maybe he doesn't see it as really worth it to pursue it anymore. Pretty much, and
yeah. I mean, I do still get looks occasionally, but it's those kind of, what do you call them? Like almost afraid. It's like even if I went over to talk to them, they'd just be like, "Yes, no, okay." It's like
yeah,
I can't deal with that. It's like I mean, I am an adult after all, you know. I can't deal with that. It's like I need to at least know that they want me, that they're into me, you know. Because you know, I was with a girl who was chat struck by me for 5 years consecutively. Well, maybe not at the end there, but basically for 5 years more or less, I was with a person who was chat struck by me. She let me do just about anything, and she let me get away with just about anything. And going from that to just having a woman kind of look at you and then look away when you look over and then look back
yeah.
at you, it's like
I mean,
it
that's his
doesn't hit the
own
same, you know?
that's his own form of brutality, guys. Like he wasn't like an inkwell, but like he still nonetheless ended up here.
Well,
Is what I'm getting
Well,
at.
actually, immediately after that relationship, I was just so absolutely broken and defeated that I became one for 2 years. For 2 years, it was involuntary, and I did actually attempt to like speak to women, and I guess I was just they could smell the defeated spirit on me or whatever. They did not respond. You know, they ran away faster than I could even try and introduce myself. You know, I must have come across very pathetic, very needy, or like whatever. Uh, so yeah, for 2 years, just nothing, and then I actually ended up hooking up with a girl just one time because she basically just threw it at me, and she had a body that I was interested in trying, and I was down bad, and she knew just the buttons to press, and yeah, basically it happened once, and then after that I was like, holy shit, this is disgusting. It's like I feel gross, like because I've gotten to the point where I guess I've become kind of dependent on intimacy. I only want intimacy. Like sex in and of itself is kind of
Hold on, let me
meh
read these
and
comments.
mostly disgusting. Yeah, yeah.
A common man said, "I had to travel to get double digits. If I had not traveled, I'd probably still have my V card and would have wrote. Brutal. That's fucking brutal.
Bro,
Yeah.
listen, guys. I've only been with two women in the past decade, okay? That's just to give you an idea of how brutal it's been. Like hyperking
But
and
one
all
of
this
them
shit,
you was with for
it's
5 years, though, right?
oh yeah, for sure. But it's just to like make it clear, like it's not like I'm slaying or anything. All this stuff happened in my youth, like from when I lost my virginity at like 15 all the way up to uh when was that? Like yeah, around 2016 or so. This like the last time I was no 2018 is when I started being with that girlfriend. But yeah, I haven't really been going crazy for the past 10 years. Basically nothing's happened, outside of that girlfriend and one night stand. So yeah, things are
Pretty
definitely
much.
different these days. I remember being able to basically pick out any girl from my class or the other class in high school, and like it was just easy, It was easy to talk to them. It was easy to show interest and get reciprocation. Everything was just so easy.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Like, even though, like, I'm not trying to say you was like Chad back in the day or anything like that. But what I am trying to say though is that it heavily contrasts with my background and probably like a lot of guys on here's background too. Because like with me, for instance, like okay, I could definitely tell you I was a horror in inkwell for a long time. Like from the age
Oh, I
of
know.
like bro, I mean, you've heard me say this before, but like from the
Oh yeah.
age of like fucking 5 years old to about, I mean, really, it's only been within like the last 3 years that I've had any type of luck, and that's been because I travel. So it's like really, I was a hard inkwell for like basically my whole life, pretty much. Like up until I was 29. I'm 31 now, but like until I was 29, when I went to go meet that first girl that I started talking to, like that girl, the one that's on my short, where I was hugging her in the car. Like you guys have probably seen that video. Yeah, up until her, I was an inkwell man. So like, bro, I got nothing but dirty looks from women. I got nothing but fucking getting avoided. Short one word answers. I got a boyfriend. Like just absolute brutality from beginning to end. So like that's kind of what I'm trying to contrast here. Is that even though Orca wasn't like a fucking Chad, that's still heavily like he had a chance at life fuel. I never even got a whiff of it until recently. And like so basically I'm kind of bringing this up to tell you guys that all roads do inevitably lead to monastic, because the purpose of the monastic philosophy is just to address the simple fact that the system itself, the system under which we live in, has gone shit. Okay, so because the system
Oh,
itself has gone the way it's going, like you could be from all these various different experiences and walks of life and still end up like at the monastic philosophy basically. And like that's an evolution from the black pill too, because we both ended up in the black pill. Well, we needed to move past that too. So that's what the gold pill came in, why I created it and why I came up with the monastic ideal, you guys. You see how this kind of logically ties together? So
And I
you know,
basically I came up with something very similar to the monastic idea. Dion told me after the fact that basically this kind of new philosophy of life that I've developed, where I've gone nomadic and I just have my entire life in a backpack and I'm just traveling around on a bicycle. I don't have an income. I just kind of, people ask me, "What do you do? You don't have an income." I'm just like, I just don't worry about it. It always works out. I'll figure it out. And yeah, I figured out I need to do something else than just sit here and complain about the fact that women suck now. Like, am I just gonna sit here wasting the rest of my life talking about how women suck and how they're not, worth my time? No, I think I'd rather just go out there and see the world. And sure, I may find some kind of a free spirit, hippie kind of girl out there on the road. I'm not gonna refuse that. I know I'm weak. The flesh is weak. And I'm sure that one of them is going to be able to push the right buttons and get me to hook up with her. But let's just hope that she doesn't have any kind of disease, because I'm certainly not going to fall for her. I think you can either understand women or you can love them, and I fully understand women by now. So it's kind of out of the
yeah, no,
question.
I'm kind of the same similar way. I mean, maybe I'm a bit more conscious about like getting with a hippie bitch. Like, I don't think I'd probably do that necessarily, but you know, you either love them or understand them. That's literally part of the black pill, guys. That's always been true. By the way, no matter what system you find a woman under, like this was even true back when you had trad wives, because like these trad wives, they're still women, even though the system kind of keeps them in check. They're still women. They're still gonna do anything they can to fuck with you, to shit test you, and it's a slow grind all the way to your grave. It's what it used to be like. It's like these days, women are just a lot more honest, and they just come right out and be like, "Yeah, we're whores, we're sluts, we're skeezers, and what are you gonna do about it? Nah, 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 nah. You can't get a woman." Pretty much to most guys, like that's how it is today.
We're just talking about the other day, me and Dion, in voice chat. We were talking about how women basically are incentivized to normalize hoeing around, because if hoeing around becomes
Oh
more
my god,
normal
dude.
than them being a whore or like having a high body count or like doing all kinds of depraved shit, all of a sudden that's more normal and therefore less frowned upon, and therefore they have to have less accountability around their conduct and their actions. So maybe that's why we have all this, oh, no slut shaming, or you go girl, and like, oh, she just knows what she wants. And how we normalized all these fetishes and like speaking about them in public. And it used to be deeply, deeply taboo even to talk about smacking someone in the butt. And nowadays, girls, they talk about all kinds of depraved shit
Yeah, they're trying
openly
to
without
like,
shame.
well, they're trying to normalize like fucking depraved, degenerate shit, and like freaking. We were talking about this yesterday, I think, and Orca sent me a video link because I think I said some shit about like, well, a while ago I said some shit about how, oh I was talking about doing sexual relations with my girlfriend, and I said something about how, oh, I think my thing was too big for her and she didn't like it. And then Orca just came out and just flat out sent me this video link of like what exactly like that. First of all, that's a lie that Joe Johnson is too big for a girl,
Oh
because like
yeah,
this.
don't ever let her convince you that it's too big. Listen, the female body is a wonder. Like it'll just stretch all the way until their uterus is up in their rib cage. Like I sent Dion this video clip of a girl basically impaling her uterus on like the most gigantic horse dildo you can ever imagine, strapped to a fucking machine. Not
Like
that I
this is
watched
the
that
type of
kind of
shit.
stuff, but I was exposed to this and I was like mind blown. And I'm like, there's just so many examples of how women have become, on a societal level, so gooned out and porn brained that they're just destroyed. It's like, you know, girls, they have all these issues with men watching porn or masturbating or whatever the hell. But it's like from a very early age now, it's normalized from mothers to gift their daughters sex toys and vibrators and shit, to the point where a normal man is not going to be able to stimulate them.
Yeah, dude.
I
Like,
actually, I actually had an ex. I'm not gonna get into which, but I had an ex who never used sex toys, and I could get her off with ease, like 10 times in a row. And then I had another girlfriend who had, had vibrators and stuff like that, and I don't think I ever made her come like once. Like she was just so gooned out and porn brain that I
yeah.
couldn't do anything for her.
Hey, by the way, this is a black pill that doesn't get discussed enough. By the way, just how porn brain that women actually are, because like you
Yeah.
guys know
Why do you think
they
they're
have.
shaming us?
Yeah, they shame guys for watching porn, where it's like, women have their smut novels, they have like all this shit, they have these
The dog pill.
vibrators, they're dog pilled, like, bro, and they're trying to normalize this stuff too. So it's like, okay, once it's normalized and then they come out in the open with it, all of a sudden, oh, this is normal. Of course, women are like
Dude,
this.
mark my word, in no more than 15 years, they're gonna add an extra letter to the alphabet. They're gonna add the dog pill. Trust and believe.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they're gonna add that, tack that onto the whole LGBTQIA plus whatever they're onto at this point.
Yeah, but that's some fucking bullshit though. But to kind of tie into like the whole video topic here too, I was just talking about how basically a lot of inquos don't necessarily there's a lot of problems with guys too. Like we could sit here and talk about women until we're blue in the face too, but it's like if you don't have any self awareness about yourself too, then it's kind of a mute point to criticize women in a way, because at the end of the day, women are just following the system, but men have the capability to set the system. We really truly do. Even though society at large has kind of gaslighted a lot of guys into believing that we don't have that capability, we still, in fact, do. You know, and again, this is like tying into the whole monastic thing, like having this self awareness about your own flaws and recognizing that men actually do have the power to create systems to
Oh, oh, yeah, for sure. Like I realized that I may be 6'5", I may be above average in attractiveness, and I may stand out genetically where I live, but that doesn't change the fact that I'm broke as shit. I ain't got shit. Like I got everything I own in a backpack, like a giant 70-liter backpack, and then I got an e-bike. That's it. Like that's not what a woman is looking for. Not with their indoctrination. Not with
and
that
really,
guy
who
they're looking
cares? Who
for.
cares what they're looking for? Because it's like
Exactly,
all
because
this
I'm out here
shit
to
that they
travel the
think.
world.
Yeah, women are agents of the system. Like they think all these things because they're like women are obviously plugged into the system. They're never gonna not be plugged into the system. The way women work is that they'll ignore you, they'll make fun of you, they'll not like you because you're not like successful by the standards of the system. But the moment you are successful at something and you create your own little system, the moment you do that, some women will pull up and come join right end up under you. That's how they work, pretty much. So you have to like it's pretty useless what women think of you guys. It's what I'm kind of getting at with this.
My only worthwhile experiences with women have been with these girlfriends that turned into long-term relationships where I got them at a time where I had nothing. That's literally the only positive experiences I have with women. Women who got with me when I had literally nothing outside of my pretty face and my 6'5" height.
Oh, we got Darzog backstage.
Oh, dude,
Okay,
I
we're
remember
gonna
Darthok. He was in my server once.
yeah, Darzog was in your server one time. He's the racist guy you remember. I'll bring him on the
Oh
call.
yeah, oh yeah, no problem. I love
Darzog, what the
talking to
hell?
people who disagree with me.
Hold on, we gotta mute Darzog. Man, dude, Darzog, you got some background noise going on. Like you got like a freaking static and TV in the background or some shit, man. Let me know when you correct that. But anyways,
But yeah,
let's hold on.
women they dictate a lot about how society plays out. It's not just about normalizing slutty behavior. They fundamentally dictate everything like what is taboo, what should be strived for. What men are acceptable. They kind of shape what society is by deciding what men are qualified for sex or love or relationships.
They're deciding that based on the standards of the system, though, the same corrupt system that we kind of recognize as fundamentally flawed. So it's like, do women's opinion really care at the end of the day? I mean, do women's opinion really matter at the end of the day, guys?
I
Like,
don't
that's
think
kind of a
so,
question you
man.
got to ask.
I've decided that I'm never gonna have another woman have any kind of authority in my life. I would literally rather starve to death on the street than have a woman have any level of authority over me.
I
Because it's
mean,
been
I,
so
I would much
hugely
rather,
destructive in my life.
I would much rather have like a, I would much rather create my own society where, basically, like, we've got this good thing going on, and then we can bring a woman into that, pretty much type of deal. Like, that's the only way in
Yeah.
which I see it being viable. And you can get something really good going along with that if you could just make it. And you're only going to make it with a group of exceptional minded guys too.
Yeah. It's
Hey,
really
Darzlog,
difficult to find your people.
are you good? Darzlog, can I unmute you? Oh, there we go. Okay, Darzlog, can you,
Is the mic better?
okay, we hear you. Let me turn you up.
I don't even remember if Darsok left on his own account or if he broke some kind of a rule. I don't imagine he did. I think he left on his own. But
Yeah,
you
Okay,
can
that,
speak to it then,
actually
brother.
deleted my account.
Yeah, the server was a little gay. I get it.
Yeah, actually, your server was great. I liked
It
it.
oh, you liked it? That's great. It's still alive. It's just a lot more private now. We still
yeah,
got the
for
basically
whatever
almost
reason, he
nightly
deleted his
meeting.
Discord account.
Oh,
Yeah, it was just too much.
yeah, I get it. I get it. It's because I'm so open-minded. Like I just really don't care what people are into or like as long as they're respectful to each other, it's welcome in the server, even if I'm not turned on by it. Like a bunch of people left because of
I
the
actually I
NSFW
liked I
section.
liked your story about.
My story?
Yeah, because we have
Ah,
talked extensively.
yeah. I can barely hear you, by the way. I don't know if that's just on my end.
Yeah, that static is back too.
Is it better?
I mean, maybe it's just me, but I can barely hear him.
I mean, I can hear him just fine. It's just the background noise.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll try and turn up a little bit.
I guess I'm a mic cell.
Yeah, you're a bad mic cell. But Darzog, so what's your opinion about like the whole thing with like a like art? Don't you think that a lot of people in this community maybe aren't really the type of guys that deserve a woman in the first place? Because I've said this several times myself that maybe some guys just haven't self-reflected enough. Like if they ever actually got a girl, they wouldn't exactly be in the right position to take care of her, or maybe what's your opinion about all this?
I mean, most of the guys unfortunately won't even get to the others. It's not a topic to be discussed because most incels are going to be staying in this.
Oh, you know what, Orca. So yeah, I actually kind of want to get on. Like, so Mr. Darzog here says that this girl of his is like his property. Like, she's completely at his will. What's your opinion about that? I'm sure you've got some things to say about that, right?
Well, that's what my girlfriend of 5 years told me. my
Yeah.
my my, my now ex-girlfriend, right? And I've also heard that from what was that? My second ex, and oh yeah, My first ex as well. Yeah, I've heard that one before. It's like it almost comes with the territory of being in a relationship, but the transitory and temporary nature of modern relationships almost guarantees for that to be a lie.
It most certainly is a lie. Like, dude, Darzog, I've got a girl wrapped around my finger right now. That I know that doesn't mean shit. I know it's
Well,
temporary.
well, well, actually, it's not a lie in the sense that women love differently than men. Like, if she says she loves you right now, and she really shows that she loves you right now, then she loves you right now. But the thing is, that can change tomorrow or in a week or in a month or in a year or in 5, and all of a sudden she doesn't love you. Whereas men, they love differently. It's like we sit down, we talk with ourselves about it, and then we make a decision, like, am I going to love this person forever, or am I just gonna like kind of use her for sex or whatever? And then once that decision is made and you say, well, I'm just gonna grow old with her and love her forever, if time will allow for that to
Never
happen,
happens.
it doesn't happen because women don't think that way. It's not, oh, all these things you've done for me. It's what have you done for me recently, you know?
And even if you do something for them recently, it's like, oh well, you could have did it slightly more like this, and you could have been more like that, or I'm just bored. Like, bro,
Yeah.
women are you cannot. I mean, yeah,
Oh,
sure, you can definitely own them for the moment. They'll say they love you, and it would be true at the moment, but it's always a temporary thing. You got to keep that in mind.
absolutely.
Yeah, I actually agree that women are very whimsical.
I
I'm
just bring
sorry,
this
I
up
just can't
because
even hear him. Maybe I have to rejoin, but I can barely hear him. He's like 5% volume.
no, I can hear him. Hey, Darzog, the reason why I bring this up is because I'm trying to make sure that you're not like, I know you got the girl wrapped around your finger or whatever, this and that, but I'm trying to make sure you're not like just putting yourself into some kind of delusional trap here
It's
because
a nice
like
delusion, dude. It's a lovely delusion. I love being under the impression that she's my property and that she loves me and that she's devoted and that she's given herself to me. It is a great delusion, dude.
me
It can
too.
make you so powerful. It can make you feel powerful and masculine, and it can make you feel like you can get any girl, and that's a wonderful feeling. And everyone should have it. But once you realize certain things about the nature of women, you just cannot fool yourself anymore.
No, you can't. I mean,
And I'm not
unless
saying
you find
anything,
like a
nothing's wrong with Darsock for enjoying that. I've been there. I've enjoyed that as well. It felt great thinking I was the king of the world and that, I had her wrapped around my finger. And it was great while it lasted. I mean, I wouldn't go without that experience. I'm happy I had it. At least I got to feel like the king of the world, you know?
I mean, I've kind of experienced that at times before too. I mean, maybe not to the same level, but like all women more or less do like a similar thing, like in the beginning of the relationship, where they're just like, "Oh yeah, I'll listen to you, daddy," and like shit. Like I've definitely experienced that before, and yeah, sure, it feels nice, but it's temporary. Like don't get it twisted. Women are easily malleable. They're under the influence of forces that you can't always see, and they can
Yeah,
change in an instant.
yeah. And also,
Yeah,
the
you
sisterhood
are
can
right
veto your
about that.
relationship.
Let's see. Does anybody else want to comment? Let me read some comments. Lithium 19 says, I want enough money that I can buy myself out of trouble. But what do you mean exactly by that, Lithium 19? Because like the amount of trouble you can get into, like if somebody wanted to, like let's say you had like hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, like it's nothing for somebody to launch a lawsuit against you for that amount of money and like actually win, or even if they don't win, you're gonna spend that amount of money just in legal fees just to fight whatever kind of like lawsuit somebody comes at you with. So I mean, like enough money to buy yourself out of trouble. What does that even look like? You basically need to be like a billionaire pretty much for that to be the case. Which I don't know if you are high IQ enough or have enough connections to become a billionaire. I mean, that's like Elon Musk level money. But I agree with the sentiment, though. Having a lot of money in general, or having enough money to be comfortable, it's like kind of what I preach in my monastic ideals. It's very nice to be in that elevated position where you're not just constantly wage slaving. This is an underrated thing that people maybe not consider as much. But like all that energy you spend wage slaving, that in of itself is like a huge deal if you can get out of that. Like some people get out of it by just having enough money. That's what I do. But you can go the complete opposite direction too. Base Orca doesn't have a lot of money, and he's also not a wage slave in that sense. So
Oh,
I
I
mean,
have
this,
no money. I'm living on other people's good graces. I just got my backpack and my bicycle, and other than that, I'm just gonna figure it out.
but still, like
Right
that's a
now, right
better.
now, actually, right now, I got my tent set up in some woman's backyard that we met as we were walking to where we were gonna camp out by a beach. But she was like, "Oh, you guys can just stay in our backyard." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, man. You got power, you got water. Let's do it. It's a little different. I've been sleeping out in nature a lot and at shelters and stuff, so it's just a nice change of pace. But yeah, I don't have any money, and I don't think I'm gonna like unless I start making money on YouTube or some shit. I just don't think I'm gonna make money. Like I just don't care enough. I'll figure it out. Just
Yeah,
kind of beating the system a bit in that way.
yeah. It does beat the system in a way. Like you notice how the only people who really have freedom are like the people at the very top and the people at the very bottom. You see, it's only the people
I've
in the
never
middle
felt
that are
more
like
free.
shackled, enslaved.
I've never felt more free. Honestly, being broke as shit and just traveling and just living from hand to mouth or whatever you call it, it's a great feeling. I mean, sure, if it's the first time you're out camping, this is not the first time for me. I've lived nomadically before for a year. With that ex of 5 years, we actually lived outdoors. We had a bunny rabbit too. So for 1 year, we just lived in tents in forests, on beaches and stuff with a bunny rabbit. It was a great and formative experience that basically made me understand that what I need to do in my life is to go and live outdoors and sleep outdoors basically every day. That's when I'm the happiest, having nothing.
Yeah, I'm gonna like next month too. I think I've already told you guys this, but like basically next month I'm gonna be coming out there with them, and we're gonna be like forming this little group, and like our group is gonna probably shrink and grow, and like, but we're gonna be on like kind of this monastic type pilgrimage and shit, just kind of living off the land, and I think that's a pretty a pretty good experience to go through. I'd say
Oh yeah.
like, and if it's like not comfortable for me, or I feel like moving on, I've already kind of committed to going somewhere to bang out a girl at some point at an undetermined point, But that's what I'm going to be doing next month. Me and him are going to be meeting up. And then we're going to kind of be living nomadically, and I'm going to probably document a good bit of it on this channel too. So I mean, like, stay tuned for that. But I mean, anyways, you can also check out Based Orca's channel. He has a channel. I forget what the name. Oh, but what's the name of your channel? Solar Punk.
Yeah, well, I'm not really trying to share it with this community, but I guess if they're really interested, they can check it out. Solar Punk 1.
Well, like you're probably not going to get too many people interested in
Yeah, I
it
know.
here, but like,
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, you can check it out if you're interested. It's probably boring for people who aren't into it. It's basically just showing like setting up tents and cooking on an alcohol stove and like
like he just
campfires and
like Orca just mentioned how he kind of lives off the land and lives nomadically, and he doesn't have very much money, or he's flat broke. But basically, on his channel, he kind of documents how he does that and how he's living and shit like this. And honestly, I mean, like with the right setup and the right gear, it's not really a bad life. You're definitely a free man living like that for sure.
well, right now I'm traveling with my childhood friend, a friend of 25 years or so, and he has an income, thankfully, and he's willing to invest in solar panels and the stuff I need to build an electrical system myself. Instead of buying a pre-made power bank with limitations, I'm gonna build the system myself. I'm self-taught in electronics, but I'm not like janky at it. I'm like very good at safety and security, how to properly gauge wires and all that shit using breakers and stuff so you don't burn the whole thing down. But yeah, I'm gonna build my own like solar system that's gonna be like expandable and customizable. It's gonna be great.
Let me
And yeah,
read some
Dion's gonna
comments.
arrive basically just when it's ready.
Let me read some comments. A comment said, pretty much the time and effort you put forth, wage cutting takes away from your ability to research, invest, click the sell button at the right time, etc. Yeah, that's true. Although, when I started getting into stock investing, I was like driving trucks and getting into that at the same time. So, like, I was kind of multitasking. Like, I could educate myself about it at the same time that I was doing it, at the same time that I'm working. Guys, that's one of the things that makes trucking a good gig, by the way. So that you're able to kind of just listen to podcasts and shit like this while you're going down the road.
Mm.
Kawaman
Or
said,
hanging out in VC.
another benefit to looking good and being able to leverage that. And Darzog said he'll fix his mic and be back on. Darzog said, can we communicate privately if you want me to in the channel? Communicate privately. Well, you got a link to my Discord, Darzog. Like, you can. Well, you say you don't want to go on Discord no more, but I suppose after the stream ends, yeah, we can talk on here. Yeah, we could do that if you want to. That's no problem at all. But let's see, who else? Is there anybody else backstage?
I'll stick around here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just sitting in my tent, chilling.
how much phone battery you have left?
Oh, dude, I'm fully charged. The power bank's fully charged. E-bike's fully charged. I'm a happy camper.
Yeah, well, like I'm all about the whole. Like I said, yeah, I'm all about the whole monastic thing, pretty much. And like, me and Orkru have talked about this shit, and he's kind of more or less like, that's what he's doing. I mean, he's having a little bit of a dust up going on with his friend there. I don't want to disclose too much about that, but like he's been trying
Well,
to
you
get
can
into
basically
like,
see it if you watch my channel. If you actually care about that shit, you can check Solar Punk out. You can see all the drama, all the bullshit. But yeah, there is. It's not always easy. I am living on other people's good graces, so I do have to be what do you call it? Kind of accepting and kind of like if things suck, I just kind of have to take it.
well,
Because
it's like you're using a particular strategy of the whole monastic deal. Like there's multiple ways of going about the whole monastic lifestyle. There's multiple, like,
Mhm.
this is why I have like the three different strategies to it, where it's like, because the way I live is radically different from what he's doing. And like there's other ways you could go about this too, and I still call it, yeah, that's a pretty monastic way of living. Or that's like, I'd accept that as like kind of detaching yourself from the system in your own way. Because that's what it's all about. It's like it's about a detachment from the system. Really and truly, it's about acknowledging that the system is fucked, and like maybe your place in it isn't worth maintaining.
And I also think minimalism is important. It's something a lot of people they don't really think about. Like there's a lot of people who are vegans who care a lot about, oh, I don't want to hurt the animals. I mean, think about the minerals that were mined by children to make the smartphone you keep switching out every year, or there's so many things that people don't take into consideration. I mean, I've definitely done my part in polluting the planet and just making shit worse by my own consumption, even though I've always been kind of broke and my consumption has been nothing compared to those with more resources. But I'm kind of disgusted by my own consumption, by all the garbage I've produced, etc. And I feel like living now minimalist. It's amazing. I'm capable of. I mean, of course, the budget went kind of fucked this month because of other outside factors. But I'm able to budget for 3 people in Denmark, which is really expensive, and it's gotten a lot more expensive because of inflation. But yeah, for like $13 a day, we can eat like kings over here. 3 people. Yeah, I'm pretty good at that, you know, minimalism. Just I got like what is that, 44 pounds in my backpack, and that's basically everything I own. And I only got 4 sets of clothes. The rest of it is like toiletries and like cooking stuff, tent that's a little too heavy because I haven't upgraded that quite yet. But it's not about having all the perfect setup. It's about getting out there and like actually, you know, doing something with your life. That was the message of like this final video I made on the beautiful one. Now I kind of took a hiatus from it. But yeah, it's such an important message. All you guys should check out that video at least at the 15-minute mark if you go to the beautiful one, the latest video. It's a great speech of
Not yet.
motivation. But
Yeah, I'll plug that channel. Hold on. The name of it is Beautiful One. Or if you want to, you could post a link in the chat to it.
Oh, dude, I'm on phone right now. I don't even know how shit works here. It's a miracle I was even able to join this. I'm like, I was always on desktop my entire life. I'm very good on that. I feel crippled on a phone, dude. Like, and imagine this: I'm shooting a video every day and editing and releasing a video every day on this channel. On top
Hold
of
on, let me
also,
see. If you hold on, if I could, do you have
well,
a link to it on your Discord server? The Beautiful One
well,
channel.
it's just the beautiful one, the space beautiful, the space, and then space one,
No,
the
actually,
beautiful
hold on.
one.
I'll do this. I'll do this. I'll go on my other phone and I'll find it.
Mm. Yeah,
Then I'll
I'd
link it
say
in the
this is
chat.
so far when it comes to videos. I've had maybe like a handful, or actually maybe almost a dozen YouTube channels over, like basically since YouTube started. I've been here since the beginning, since 2005. I made my first channel in 2006, and yeah, I've made a bunch of videos, hundreds of videos in my life, but out of every single video I've made, I would say they all are completely meaningless and a waste of time for people to watch outside of this most recent one I made on the beautiful one. Even the stuff I'm making these days, like this camping orientated or like nomad orientated content, it's kind of like boring and like not well edited. It's just kind of raw to like show people how it actually is. It's not like a magnum opus of any kind. It's just a challenge to make a video every single day. That's the only thing.
Dude,
Yeah.
so like for a second when you had your BP channel for a second there, you were actually kind of blowing up if you would have kept making videos. Like
And
I think
that's what
you would have
scared
been.
me, dude. That's what scared me. But I mean, now people can go to Solar Punk one and see what my face looks like. But I don't even care because like all my channels are private, and I mean, sure, some people probably have them downloaded and they'll re-upload them. I don't really care, you know. It's just I kind of felt like I was saying some stuff I don't agree with anymore. You know, some kind of some pathetic max stuff that I just don't agree with anymore, and that I don't want to spread anymore. You know, I use the language and intelligence to kind of, you know, make it sound as if it's okay to give up, and I feel ashamed about that. And I think my what do you call it? My redemption is kind of this channel, this solar punk one. You know, even though the content must be kind of difficult to follow, I'm still improving the formula. You know, making the videos shorter and such. The first videos were far too long for people to even give a fuck. Yeah, I'm still trying to improve it, but I feel like that's my redemption, as well as the videos I made on the beautiful one. It's good stuff. It's better than BP stuff where it's all focused on just like give up and, you know, the stuff we were talking about earlier about, oh yeah, women suck. It doesn't make any sense to talk to
Hold on,
them. You
I
know, this
just
stuff
found it.
it's kind of more life fuel. You know.
I just found it. Was it the? Are you talking about the last video you posted on this channel?
The beautiful one, yeah. The
The
one about how
coping is
coping
killing
is
us.
killing us. Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, I remember this video. This was a good video.
It goes incredibly hard, especially the speech that starts at around 15 minutes. That shit, just every time I hear it, I'm like, I can feel it deeply, you know?
Okay,
And
there it
I
is.
edited, by the way, guys, I edited that video on a Huawei phone from 2019 that cost $100 back then, okay? Like, this thing was melting as I was editing it. I had to place it down on, like, blocks of ice and shit. to like do the rendering. It was crazy. The phone died afterwards, shortly afterwards. So it was like the last thing I squeezed out of that phone, and it's a masterpiece. It's my magnum opus. It's definitely like kind of an apology for the kind of BP content I used to make and how I kind of enabled people to just give up and be pathetic, and how I used intellectual language to kind of make it seem reasonable to do so. And this is kind of my apology, and me extending like some kind of an olive branch and saying, hey, listen, here is a way, here's some motivation to like inspire you to go out there and actually, do something that's better than what I was telling you to do before.
Okay, I posted a link in the channel. You guys can take that out. Like, guys, I'm telling you, like when he was, like, I know he's ashamed or he doesn't agree with the content he used to put up, but man, he if he would have kept going with that, he would have blew up like past Black Pill Villain and past all those guys. Like, I'm telling
Dude, I
you, like,
was blowing up, man. I was getting mentioned by all kinds of BP channels, and it just kind of started scaring me. Or like some people were hinting at me, and like other people mentioned me by name, and I was starting to get like, ah, shit, dude, I don't want to be like known as this. Even back then, I kind of saw it as a little pathetic or shameful, you know.
I mean, I don't disagree with you because really, truly, and honestly, there's no reward for blowing up in the BP community. Like it's like what you get to be the king of the trash heap of a community that's basically got this stigma to it.
Exactly, and there's so many toxic and like fucked up, like destroyed, hopeless people in the BP, and like I always had this misconception, this idea that if I was just good enough and accepting enough and like tried to help enough, and I tried to keep going on, I could help all of these people, like these subscribers of mine. But I quickly realized that some of these people were just subscribed to me because they hated me, and like most of them were just lost, like as in unreachable by me, by anyone, by a miracle. Like nothing could help these people because they're just like they're pathetic on a fundamental level. It's like it's deep into their bone marrow. It's like you cannot extract that patheticism. Nothing can like get these people to do anything about their life. Like they haven't just given up on themselves. Existence has given up on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know what? Right around the time me and you first started talking, I was saying like the same shit pretty much. Where it was like, because back then I was much more about like trying to like I guess help Inquels in a way, but it's like I mean, there's nothing really you can say to somebody in this position where it's going to be like an aha moment, and then it just suddenly like stop being who they are. Like that's very
Well, I was
unlikely. But what I can
the
do,
reason I started making. Oh yeah, sorry.
well, like basically what I can do though is I can just like kind of put my opinions and thoughts out there anyway. And like, yeah, I'm kind of loosely attached to the Black Pill. Like, this is the community I started off in or whatever. But I mean, I don't talk about like depressing shit for the most part. I just give my opinion and my critique on shit, and I talk about my philosophy on here too. So I think that's a bit of a sustainable spin for my channel personally.
Well, the reason I started making BP content initially was because I was watching people like BBDR and Corey's Corner and some other people, and I was like, listen, I can make better shit than this. Like, I can make a lot better shit than this. Like, I like them, at the time I was watching them religiously, and I was like, well, I can do better, This isn't even that good, and like, I got a lot of more interesting and deep thoughts and like crazy stories and stuff that people in this community would find interesting. Like I had some videos blow up that was about like the social destruction of a subhuman langlet and like the social destruction of like some like what was it, like some heretic guy. Like there was all kinds of like crazy stories I had that blew up, and I was like,
Yeah,
why is that the kind of stuff that blows up? Why not the stuff where I get a little deeper, a little more philosophical, a little more accusational towards the audience and forces them to like
yeah,
introspect and like, grow and get over this?
yeah. You know what? Like I never did like DBDR like that, so it's kind of interesting that you did for a while. But I guess that was
Well,
mainly because,
he's just a good storyteller, and he used to be funny. Well, I don't watch his stuff anymore because I don't know. I don't really think he's like making the best, most interesting content of his career right now. But
DBDR,
I used
but
yeah.
DBDR as of nowadays, I think he's kind of lost his mind a bit because his storytelling is much less coherent than it used to be.
Well, he's also dealing with a bunch of stuff. Like, imagine having such a big audience and like I think he's probably in a very stressful state. Like I'm very like I don't talk bad about him. Like oh, I don't like his content anymore because the guy is like this or that. Like I have nothing against the guy. Honestly, all I have for these people in the BP community that I like listening to is sympathy. You know, I saw some of myself in them. A person who was reachable, a person who was reasonable, a person with where there was yet hope for them. You know, they could still be better and be more and experience more and actually find some of the things that they seek in life. I saw
But it's
potential in
like,
them, and therefore I listened to them. But and I'm not saying I don't see potential in them anymore. It's just I just don't want to watch that kind of content. Also, I don't really have time to watch content living like this. Like this isn't just one big happy camping trip for me. Like I have to clean dishes and find water and like navigate and like take care of these people. I'm kind of like leading this camp, you know. I know how to do all this shit having lived like this before, so I don't even have time to watch content. But like back to the topic, I don't watch them anymore, and I saw potential in them at the time because I thought that, you know, if they, like I have in my YouTube career or over these different channels, become better at making content that is more aimed towards having people improve in their life and, you know, get out of the rut. I thought they had the same potential to do so, but they never took the chance. You know, they still make the same type of shit. You know, and
but
sure, it's good.
it's like because you've moved on to better, more prescient things to your own life. You know, that's a lot more useful.
Yeah, I mean, I still watch videos occasionally from the BP, like Rehab Room, maybe even
Yeah, rehab
occasionally
room
some
is worth watching still.
even occasionally some Corey's Corner because he's getting into psychedelics now, and I kind of want to see how that goes, you know, because that has been hugely influential in my own life when it comes to like, you know, taking a big step towards making a great change and realizing some things that are difficult to explain, not just about the nature of reality, but yourself and so on. And I'm not recommending this to anyone. You know, it's illegal in many places. But what I am saying is, for me, it has been like hugely important, and it is something that I think is quite stigmatized and demonized. And there's a lot of like urban legends and horror stories that are spread around it. But if you have a respectful relationship toward it, and you treat it as some kind of ritualistic thing, and you never abuse it, um, then I think you can achieve a beautiful change. But to rely on it as a crutch for self-development is a danger that a lot of these spiritual types fall into, and they just kind of lose touch with reality. You know, they set
Yeah,
off, you know, they start floating
they
and tripping
basically
so much, and they never quite land with both feet on reality
they
ever again.
basically like they turn into a crank.
Yeah, something snaps in their brain, and they never, you know, they never quite touch ground with reality fully again. And it's
I've
a
seen
shame, you
quite a
know.
few.
You have to revere psychedelic. You know, it's certainly nothing to abuse, but if you can have a respectful relationship towards it, as you would with some kind of a religion or a god or something like that, then I think you can get very far in life. Uh, but really, guys, I'm not recommending this. This stuff is very dangerous stuff. And honestly, if you're young, like if you're not even in your 30s yet, I don't really think there's much of a reason to even do it, because at that point it's just a party drug. You haven't gone through the trauma and the self-development necessary to even have these beautiful life-changing experiences. It would just be seeing colors and like tripping out, and that's not really conducive to any personal change, you know.
I mean, you tried to sell me on the whole psychedelics thing before, and I've seen like a few people in
But
this
that's because
community. doing
But that's because I
psychedelics.
see you're ready. That's because I see that you're ready, and that's the only reason that I've personally recommended it to you, having known you for a long time and personally communicated with you. Beyond just for clarity for the people watching, he's in my private Discord server with like a dozen people, and it's kind of just a locked private server now. It used to be public. It used to be tied to my BP channel. There's been Darsek's been in there. A bunch of people's been in there, but most of them, like 98% of them, left on their own accord. And yeah, the people who stayed behind, they just became like a brotherhood. We just
Yeah, most
all
of them.
communicate and voice chat all the time. Some of them, they're kind of busy in life, and there's large periods where they don't show up, but they always come back.
Yeah, most of them left. A couple of them got kicked for fucking around. But
Yeah.
like they've been talking about like the whole psychedelic scene. Like I said, I've seen like people in the YouTube space talk about doing psychedelics. Like I think LPP was doing psychedelics too. But
But I think
like
95% of people are not ready.
yeah, well, I don't know, man. Because like based on some of the details I've gotten out of you about it, it's like, bro, I don't know, man.
Most people are not ready to understand the true nature of reality, and most people shouldn't even be exposed to it.
I mean, because I'm pretty much like a straight lace person. That's I've never smoked weed before, and I don't want to. I've rarely, if ever, drink alcohol. Like, bro, like one of my girls that girl was about to marry. She was like fucking
But the thing is,
tripping out over the idea that I have ever consumed alcohol before. And I
but
haven't
listen,
done much of anything.
this isn't like a drug or something like that. I mean, if you perceive it that way, that just means you're abusing it. This should be considered as some kind of a sacrament and some kind of a ritual that you perform only once or twice a year at the very most, and only if like necessary, or like the instruction comes to you from beyond, from the
But like
mushrooms or the other side, or whatever you call it. Like, I don't trip out when I want to trip out because I want to have fun or whatever. It's more like an impulse or some kind of an outside instruction. It's very difficult to put into words, and I'm going to sound crazy if I attempt to. So I'm just going to keep it vague like that, because I don't want to sound like one of these spiritual types who've completely lost touch with reality. And that's how you're going to sound when you speak about this kind of stuff, because honestly, the kind of information you're exposed to, at least if you're ready for it, it's like, if I have to put it into language, it's more like you're exposed to some kind of four-dimensional language or information rather than the three-dimensional language or information that we're used to. Like, it is orders of magnitude like more information, and it's incredibly difficult to put into words. Like, anything you want to translate from like the other side or from a trip or something like that, it's just gonna come across as if you've completely lost it, and I recognize that. So I don't really want to get too deep into it, but I want to say this: most people are not ready for it. Most people shouldn't do it. You really have to have gone through a lot in life, a lot of self-development, a lot of like already like treating a lot of the issues, and having a lot of just like trauma and experiences, and living a big life, just living in the suburbs and like living in the same place, and like going to your job and like not really doing much, not living multiple different places and different people in different countries and different jobs and different like sleeping schedules and all this stuff, like always change, constant change. If you don't have that and a bunch of trauma on top of it, I don't really think necessarily like you're gonna be ready. You probably also have to like become pretty inquisitive in general, like someone who's into like researching and figuring out, because it almost becomes like research in a way. Like, it's not like you
you
just
know,
have one trip and then it's fixed and then you just realize everything. It's more like you start learning how to understand this stuff.
I think
Because we
every
need breaks.
incel
We need
has been
large
through
breaks.
quite a bit of trauma. So would you say like pretty much every incel would meet the criteria from the trauma standpoint?
Mm, Potentially in some avenues, but trauma is a big spectrum. It's not just about being depraved of different things or deprived of different things. It's not just about not having different experiences, it's also about having experiences. You have to be, well, I think the more well-traveled, the more well-researched, the more you know about different things, the more you've experienced, the more you've suffered, the more everything, the more you'll be able to get from the other side, so to say. And I think everyone just, they're at a different level and different points in their life. And I think most people should probably wait with all of this stuff until they get older, right?
Yeah, well, the only reason that I'm open to like psychedelic mushrooms is just mainly because like it's not like a drug in the strictest sense. Like I understand that it's not a drug, so that's the only reason I'm open to doing it or maybe trying it. But I don't know when I'm gonna get to be able to try it though, because my lifestyle. I was gonna go meet up with Stony and maybe we would do it, but uh,
Yeah.
it doesn't look I'm gonna be able to do that.
Oh, listen, dude, I'm sure we could figure something out in the
Oh,
future.
we
I'm
got
not ready
something.
for it personally. Like, I'm
We got
not
somebody else
personally ready for it.
backstage.
I'd bring him in. But yeah, I'm not personally ready for it myself.
Hey, how's it going, Emperor? How's it going,
Hey,
Base to Orca?
let's go.
What's
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 up,
up, Black Belt?
Blackpill?
I just saw the live stream on, and then I kind of caught it maybe a few minutes ago, and I kind of heard based Orca talking about interdimensional and psychedelics and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, it's
That
probably not really what we should be getting into on this type of channel, but it's really interesting.
No,
it,
like
it
it's free form now. I've already got the topic out of the way. We just shooting the shit.
I let's go.
yeah, it's interesting, but I kind of do think it's interdimensional coping. I mean, no offense, but
Oh
it's
man, I've definitely entertained that idea. I've definitely entertained that it could just be one giant cope, especially in the beginning when everything wasn't quite clear to me. But I am an empiricist. I've always been so. I mean, of course, it doesn't come across that way when I start talking about these things, but I'm just telling you that's where I'm coming from. Like, I'm not spiritual. I've been an atheist before I even knew what it meant. I'm very skeptical about the people who've been talking about these kinds of things, like Terence McKenna and other people. Like, in fact, Terence McKenna, I've always considered him an absolute fucking idiot. Like, I've never actually listened to him because he always came across as so full of himself and like, oh, I know everything. But then I come to find out, listening to him after having had all of these realizations, that he's more or less talking about the same shit I am, just using different words and different ways of talking about it. But yeah, in many ways, it's basically just the same thing, and we're not the only people who've said this throughout history. There's a lot of people who come to some of the same conclusions. But of course, you know,
it is.
I
I
don't know.
mean, you're absolutely right. The interdimensional and time travel and different worlds, remote viewing, that type of stuff. And using psychedelics to be able to unlock those certain things that we all have in our mind. It's it's actually been taken off. The last like I would say the last 5 years, it's really grown. There's a huge community of
Oh yeah,
deists,
I,
atheists, agnostics, all talking about it, all having, especially with the near death experiences, and
oh
then
yeah,
people.
absolutely.
Yeah, people who are deists and believe in God become atheists because they, see what life really is. It's almost the same thing. It's very close to psychedelics.
Do you
And
believe it's all just one giant cope?
I do think it's one big giant cope. Here's my theory
You don't
about the whole.
you you don't entertain it just like with a 0.1% chance. You think there's like 0.0% chance, and it is like 100%, 100% a cope. Like there is no chance
It
any of
is.
this even. Okay,
It
yeah.
is
Just so I know
because
where you're coming from.
I've been down that road, especially if you have like a death of a loved one. You start going down that road. You start even, you consulting. What do they call? Fortune tellers, but not fortune tellers. I have another word, psychics and stuff like that. and you start seeing patterns, and you start seeing they're all saying the same thing, and you start seeing it's kind of like a marketing scheme. They're
Hey,
selling,
Blanco, hey,
yeah.
Blanco, are you like using a different mic or something? Because like
Uh,
because like your
This
mic
is
is making like this weird noise.
making a rhythmic artifact
oh, okay.
whenever you speak.
Let me see. Let me see if I can go. I'm using, so I'm using my AirPod Pros. Um, and that's really all I got because I'm on my cell phone.
Well, you could
How
just
about?
switch it to speaker, can't you?
Oh, okay. Uh, yeah. Let me see. Um,
All right, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah,
Yes, much
that's
better.
great.
Okay. Yeah, I've been a lot of that, and especially
No,
if
it's
you
still
lose a
there.
loved one. Can, can,
Oh
can
well,
you hear
keep
me?
speaking. The artifact is still there, but we hear you. You're louder now.
Okay. Yeah. Especially if you lose a loved one, you'll go down that rabbit hole. Is there an afterlife? And then you'll get all these like this kind of like a new age type, multi-dimensional, different worlds, space and time. You reincarnate in different bodies. It's a cope, man, because at the end of the day, you wouldn't be doing this if you were doing what you're supposed to do on Earth and reproduce and have a family. You'd be too preoccupied with that and all the challenges that brings.
Yeah.
It's only guys who have too much time on their hands that aren't doing what nature intended you, not take away morality, take away God, just basic nature. You take everything away. Animals were intended to breed, reproduce, and just repeat. That's the circle of life. So, like, when you have a lot of time on your hands, you start going into these, is there aliens and stuff like that. And they show it in movies too. People who are too much into like the X-Men, they had those weird guys, computer nerds, whenever they needed help. And these like computer nerds lived in this like trailer, and they had all these computers, and they could like get them any information they wanted. You see that trope in movies where like guys who are single and have too much time on their hand, they know all these conspiracies and aliens and afterlife and all this stuff, while the cool Chad gets the hot Stacy on the movie. So it's kind of like that. It's just you know too much time on your hands, and
Well,
your
I
mind
think
just
I
go
think
ahead.
you're really touching on. I think you're really touching on the reason why I'm pro-natalist, though, because it's pretty easy to see, like the purpose of life is like just this basic loop of like life, reproduction, and death, and just repeating the cycle over and over. That's pretty obvious to see, Usually, when you start going into like all this extra esoteric shit, it almost always is like a complete dead end because there may be nothing else to it, other than just that. That's why I'm very pro-natalist.
There really is nothing else to it but that. I mean, you hit it right on the nail. Just go down to the basics. Every animal does it. You weren't put on this earth to be Einstein or to be the world's most famous doctor or painter or musician. Now, if you accomplish that, that's great. But your main purpose is to reproduce. And if you don't, then what's the point? Now, there's a lot of unfortunately, the government in the West, our government, has gotten in between reproducing and with their laws, with family court, with divorce. So they've monetized every aspect of basic human needs and wants, especially when it comes to a man. So you have a kid now. Well, there's laws, and DCF can get involved, and they have counselors at the school. And if you're not feeding the child certain times a day with certain meals, if they don't have a bedroom, a designated area with a bed and certain things, they have the ability to come and take your kid away or put you in jail, or if you get divorced, they can put you on child support. and things like that, things that are natural and that shouldn't be. So yeah, I mean you're right. I mean that's the main purpose. Like I mean all the rest of the things are just kind of cope.
I mean, I'm open. I'm open to the idea that there may be more than that. But as far as like our senses can detect and touch, and what we can see physically in front of us, and what we can hear, like what we can observe through a microscope, and what we can observe out there in a telescope, like according to all these things, like we're if there is more to it, then we're definitely unable to see it. Maybe there's something to like the whole psychedelic mushroom shit where maybe you see beyond that in a sense. I don't know. Like who knows? But like what I do know is literally just okay. Like we're here to reproduce, and like the government has gotten in the way. Like the system itself has gotten in the way of that. You know.
Well, I can tell you one thing. I don't really care one way or another, like whether or not psychedelics or all this stuff is just one giant cope or whether it isn't. It doesn't really matter because where I am right now, um, it's just a positive influence on my life. And I mean, I don't do it anymore. I haven't really gotten the impulse or like the instruction to do so or whatever you call it. I feel like it's gonna be a long time before if I ever do that again. But yeah, it was great for me. And of course, there is some kind of. I also agree with what Black Pill say. I mean, it is kind of a fundamental reason to exist, to reproduce, at least on some kind of a biological or like reproductive level. It is our purpose of being here. But outside of that, there isn't really like any greater purpose, like any objective purpose to us being here. It really comes down to what we decide to do, either on a personal level or as a civilization, what we do. And there is no right answer, like whether or not we choose to run 100% off of solar and be like a good for the environment and make the planet last forever, or whether we just keep burning oil and just destroying the environment. Like it doesn't.
Hold on. Let me read this comment.
Yeah.
Starwood. Hold on. Fuck! I lost it. The hell? Oh, there we go. Starwood Anime said, "Do you notice that everybody in this space is broken, or something is seriously wrong with them?" Yeah, well, most of them. Most of them, I say. There's some.
Oh, it's not just us. It's like everyone. Like, what is a normie today? Look at what a normie is. All normies are kind of like autistic and like broken, right?
Yeah, like if you really pay attention to normies, they're really fucked up in some strange ways too. And they may be a little bit worse because like they're normies, they're considered normal, so they haven't even confronted the flaws that they have even in the slightest.
I mean, why do you think I called my channel the beautiful one? I recognize myself being broken. That's a reference to the Mouse Utopia experiment, the class of rats that just started just grooming themselves and who never went for the females. They just kind of stuck to the outskirts of the enclosure.
I just brought Melvin on, by the way. What's up, Melvin?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
we hear you.
You've got the
All
best
right.
mic so far.
Nah, man, I'm on my laptop.
Yeah. like based work, I agree with him. Like everybody's broken or has some type of trauma to an extent. Yeah, I mean, it's not good to be focusing on trauma or being broken. Like, you just got to move on. And it's not, to an extent, it's not good to, like, think about all these other things, like why the nuclear atom, how many molecules is it made of, and this and that, and all that. Because at the end of the day, like, you just got to move on and live your life. Like, all that stuff is cool. It's interesting, and but yeah, I mean, like if your parents would have, if all of our parents would have just been coping, I mean, and not reproduced, we wouldn't be here. Like, and that would have
Well,
ended
if our parents were living right now, if they were our ages right now, I know I'm older than you guys probably, but if they were like young right now and were their reproductive ages right now, they would have had no chance. Like your mom would be busy ignoring your dad to hook up with Chad. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't have happened.
or it
So
could have
like
happened
they're no
like
different than us.
right, or it
What I'm
would have
saying
happened
is like
like
we're fundamentally the same as our parents were. The only difference is the circumstances are different. It's not like you guys
yeah,
are pathetic. It's just
correct.
that that we're pathetic. Sorry, like I'm included here. It's more that you become pathetic by just not having the options. Right? It's just a natural consequence.
Right, and those options are just sadly, like we stated before, set by the government. They're the ones controlling everything. So, you know,
Well,
um,
I think women kind of control hypergamy and like what is
not really,
acceptable.
not really.
It's the economy.
Let's go back to nature. Now, I live out in the country. There's cats out here, and let me just break it down. The cats don't have police. They don't have government. And when the male cat wants to mate
They
with
have
the
different
female,
breeding patterns than humans do, I believe. No?
if you open a history book and you study like Genghis Khan and African tribes, or
Like, he's killing
Chinese,
everybody. Like they're women.
American, or Native American, or even Anglo-Saxon history, a lot of those men would go over to other tribes and they would kill the other men, and then they would take the females as war brides. So we're not that much different, man.
There's a big difference. I lived there like 1,000 years ago. Like
no, no, not that wasn't that long ago. That stuff still goes on, man. Not
yeah,
every
but
country, not every.
like
So the reason it doesn't happen in the United States is because the government has made us domesticated human animals.
I mean, do you want that to happen? Like
No,
you
I
want
don't
to
want.
survive, man. Like
I'm not telling you that this is what I want to. I'm telling you why,
yeah.
because like. So the reason it doesn't happen here because we're human domesticated animals by the government. If you don't do what they say, they'll put you in jail. Now,
I mean,
there's other countries where the people don't want to be domesticated. These are people in generally domesticated to the Western governments. Let me make that clear. So those countries, like in certain parts of the Middle East, they get bombed because they're not complying to Western, the West government laws that they dictate. So like the whole thing where you get married and you save like a quarter of your annual income to buy a ring, and you get down on one knee and all this is a Western concept. Like
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
these aren't things that people did like maybe even 300 years ago, 500 years ago. This is learned behavior to domesticate
But
an
here's the thing. Everything is really just tied to money. The reason why people spend so much, why that concept was developed, was because jewelry makers wanted money. A lot of people get paid off of that. So again, when you understand economics, everything starts to make sense and come together.
Right. You got it, but it goes beyond money. Money is just a controlling factor. It's a controller. It goes beyond that. It's to have total control. If you open up the Bible, and the Bible is even if you're an atheist, I mean, historians do acknowledge it as a historical book. And when you look at when Moses,
Hello?
I think he cut out there.
Hold on, let me read some comments. So the high priest said, "Don't have kids." Clippus Maximus said, "Broken society creates broken people. These are the people who didn't break in the way the society wanted to." The high priest said, "Don't reproduce if you're broken." Dude, what do you mean don't reproduce if you're broken? Like, hey, you see all these fucking single moms out here reproducing, like, I wager all of them shouldn't be reproducing, but they are. So now what?
The
Like,
people who are truly broken wouldn't even have a consideration about whether or not they should reproduce. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's some mediocrity type shit going on here.
So like it would be. I think it would be better if like some of you incels are reproducing more so than these single moms too. In my opinion.
But at the
Absolutely.
same
Like I don't
time,
agree
like
with the violent patheticism of a lot of incels, but honestly, like they're the lesser evil of the two.
Oh,
yeah.
definitely, 100%.
But I mean, they suck at problem solving. Like, imagine if they had a kid, right? And the kid had issues, and they wouldn't be able to help their kid really.
Well, like if a
Just,
kid comes out with like a physical ailment or like something serious mental
yeah,
deficiency, like
yeah, something like
I
that.
mean, there's no way to prevent that, and that's kind of a unfortunate thing. But well, shit, worse things have happened, I guess. But it probably won't happen to every single person, though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, even beyond that, like a basic social issue or something like just day to day stuff, you know.
Clippus Maximus says, much worse people are reproducing. Just don't do it in a toxic place. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to fucking go overseas and shit, to be honest,
Well,
because America is definitely the wrong place.
I just want to tell this to all the guys listening. Like, if I understand wanting to reproduce, and if you're gonna go out there and do that, I just want you to, before you even like put it in her, I want to just like have you accept right here that that child, there is no guarantee of how long it'll be in your life. It can be yanked away from you at any point, and you just have to like already have come to terms with that before the conception even happens.
Yeah, that is true. However, if I had a kid and
Love
then
your
they got
child,
yanked out
but
of my
be ready
life,
to detach.
well, if I had a kid and they got yanked out of my life like this, though, I think I would still feel good about the fact of knowing, like, even if the kid hates me, that they're still out there living their life and moving on forward with my half of my genes. So
Yeah.
that would
Yeah,
be
as a
infinitely
man,
better
I
than just
understand.
being just a plain old incel.
Yeah.
The black man says reincarnation is not real. It's everybody in this space, including you, Dion. Oh, you trying to call me broken, black man? You little
I
smartass.
haven't talked about reincarnation. Come on now. I haven't even gotten into like what I believe. I only like mentioned the brief outline because honestly, I don't want to get into it here because there is a large chance that what was it, black pill, that I'm coping.
See, that would be the worst.
I
Just imagine.
definitely entertain the fact that I'm coping because I am an empiricist. I'm trying to like when I've actually done this in the past, it was like in a ritualistic and like research kind of setting. I sometimes even have people in VC, write down or like, it was but I don't want to talk about it here because there is a chance that I'm just wasting everyone's time and that I'm not actually disclosing the true nature of reality or anything like that, but that I'm
I
actually
mean,
delusional.
this is a monastic channel, so like, there's a chance we could make a topic specifically going into that one day. But I mean, maybe not now though.
Well,
You've
yeah,
gone through it with me a little bit already, and like I kind of just
it's
tell
very
you, like,
difficult.
yeah,
It's difficult
yeah.
to get into because you're just gonna. It's so difficult to talk about. Some of these things just don't really translate very well.
The high priest said Theon is definitely broken. Well, screw you too, man. Like, I think, well, if you want to call me broken though, like, it's good to be broken in a particular way. I think everybody's fucking broken, but if you're broken in the right way, in a way that actually gets ahead in life, see, I get ahead in life. So if you want to call me broken, I'll take it as a compliment.
Yeah, sometimes that really being broken can help you go through life.
But it's
No
about being
saying.
broken in the right way,
It's
though.
formative.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
formative.
'Cause
It's
yeah, I know a guy. He was really smart. He got accepted to like a bunch of Ivy League schools, right? But he ended up going to the Naval Academy. He ended up graduating in like the top 3 of his class. He went on to go to like flight training, but he ended up failing out of it. So he didn't become a pilot, and he ended up deleting himself. So
Oh
he
shit!
never, yeah, that's because he never really took a major loss in life. He just kept winning, like just excelled at everything, but he failed, and you know,
You see, there you go. You need failure in your life, or else you might self-delete, guys. Moral of the
Gosh,
story.
man, I've been taking failures like almost on the daily since I started, like since
Nick
the
Marco
'90s, man.
says, "Oh, this dude got a Canadian flag in his profile picture." Nick Marco said, "The world is like a matrix, so taking basis off nature in a realistic standpoint falls apart from singular perspective, and from it. Clothes, for instance, can change off a basis." James Lawn said, "Incels should not reproduce. Black pillars should not reproduce. Weird guys should not reproduce." Okay, well, who are you to be the authority on that, Mister James Lawn? Like, who says that incels are necessarily here's something I always disagree with. Like, a lot of people say incels shouldn't reproduce because they have bad genetics or whatever. I don't believe that's necessarily true though, because like then your dad have to have some kind of like something to him for him to be able to reproduce with your mom.
Well,
Like,
I actually have a good
yeah, that
theory
doesn't
about
make
that.
sense though.
I have a good theory about that. I believe that that used to be the case, that women used to go after specifically masculine traits like musculature, bone structure, and stuff like that, strength and aggression and stuff like that. But then all of a sudden, the Industrial Revolution came around, and all of a sudden, men all of a sudden were more attractive when it came to just straight up money, like monetary value they provided. And all of a sudden you didn't need big muscles to work in an office or to do something that wasn't really that strenuous, where you could sit in an office or not really move that much. And so all of a sudden men became, well, kind of, they had less of these masculine traits, and it became more acceptable to pick one without them. And I think after like a
well, like,
few generations of this,
have
men
you
that were
seen
never men who had no business reproducing, all of a sudden they reproduced, and their children reproduced, and after like 5 or 6 generations we get the insults of today. Like they were just handed like generations worth of bad genetics, of people who only reproduced because money was worth more than masculinity. And
like,
that's
dude,
been
have
the
you
case.
seen the average guy in this community though? Like most guys in this community look normal. Like at
Yeah,
worst, like a 5 out of 10 or maybe a 4 out of 10. Like it's that bad genetics. And also,
that's
Well,
I've
man.
never really bought the idea that your genetics being good or bad like necessarily reflects on your sexual attraction. Like I think sexual attraction and actual genetic fitness are two separate things.
I
Women
think
are
sexual
definitely not
attraction for
picking
women,
for
they
physical fitness or genetic like like how good you are genetic. Like fucking Chad can have bad genetics where he's like gonna fucking die by the age of 30 or some shit. But like he's
oh
still
yeah,
Chad. She's gonna fuck his brains out and have his kids.
but it's also about like
Good point. That's actually a
attitude and
good
like
point.
being dangerous or a bad boy or a criminal or something like that. That can add a lot of points where the looks don't necessarily mean that
Yeah,
much.
but that's not. I mean, that's not gonna last long though. It's a criminal and stuff.
Well, they don't really care, right? The women, at least, they don't really have to do. I mean, they can just go on to the next one, just swing to the next branch, right?
Nick Marco said, we're like on a 3D motherboard and have the choice to make decisions and reason to and make creation." I don't get what you're quite saying there. James Lawn said, "If you got no money, don't reproduce." Weird stuff. This guy's still going on about this like don't reproduce thing.
Don't
Nick
worry,
Yeah, I
Marco
dude.
kind of
says,
Like
agree with that one
none
though.
of none of us have any chance of that happening anytime soon. I mean, look where we are right now. Come on now.
"Oh
I
yeah,
want it
I was gonna speak on this. Like, if you anywhere in the BP space, like you already are like in a precarious spot as far as
Hey
like
guys, listen. I'm
reproducing.
just doing Dion a favor here. He wanted to get me on, okay? Like I'm done with the DP community. I'm just like hanging out with a friend here.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm not really like in it as much as people may think I am. Like, yeah, I talk towards it because these are the people that might more likely understand me. But as far as like, oh, are you an incel? No, I'm not an incel. I haven't been an incel in quite some time. You know,
Same.
so
I'm completely voluntary at this point.
yeah, me too. Well, I'm not even
I
voluntary. I
don't
got
want
a
the smoke.
girlfriend right now.
I
Oh,
could
dude,
have
I don't
wanted
even
to,
look
but
at
it's
I don't even look at women anymore, dude. Like I just focus on camping and enjoying my life and making tea and just chilling, you know. I'm finally happy. You know, the last thing I want right now is a woman.
But Nick Marco says basically any fairy tale basically is real. Any fantasy and mythos is real, as well as our words cast rule over appearance. The black man says some guys should procreate, some guys should not procreate. It's a very insightful black man.
I say I agree with that. You know, kids aren't for everybody. Yeah.
Clippus Maximus Clippus Maximus says, yes, Western courtship is turbo simping and it's very new. If you don't bring your simp conditioning with you, the world is very wide. Yeah, that's very true. The black man says, the Bible said to let things go. Don't walk with unforgiveness. The high priest said, incels create incels. I disagree. Man, no, the incels don't come from incels. Like, what even is an incel? This is like a totally modern concept anyway. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, there were guys historically that didn't get to reproduce, but it wasn't because of the same reasons of what's going on right now. For sure not. Like, just because you're not like a fucking e-boy Chad, like, you can't reproduce. It's basically what the meta is in the West. So, like, do incels create incels? I think the system creates incels, man, not
Yep.
incels
How many
I
themselves.
say it's I
Facts.
how
say
many
it's based
percent
on
of the
like
male population do
trauma
you guys think?
and like
Oh, sorry, go on.
if I think it's based off trauma and like autism.
Well, you could say like you have a higher chance of being one if you got autism, but like at the same time, like you give a Chad autism, is he gonna be an incel? I doubt it.
Right. Yeah.
How many percent of the male population do you think are incels globally?
Let me
Anyone?
see. What did you ask?
Oh, I asked how many percent of the male population do you guys think are incels right now globally?
60,
Globally,
70%.
Yep.
globally, that's different.
Well, okay, you said globally. I'm talking about
Yeah.
it in the West, but globally, I see it's probably more like 30%.
Yeah, I'd say that. That's probably it. But I think
But
that's
in the West, you guys would say
similar.
70%.
No, I think it's 30 in the West.
Honestly, I think 70% is too low in the West. I
Yeah.
look at guys, man. I pay attention to guys just out in public. Like I
Yeah.
can tell when I'm looking at an incel.
Yeah. I agree with Emperor on that. I completely agree. I think it's very high, but a
I
lot
I
of
like
guys
do too, but
lie
I'm not
about.
sure how high.
well, a lot of guys are able to mask it really well. So like they'll be styled up, they'll have their hair did, and they'll have a fresh haircut, and they might be able to carry on socially. And like it's like if you really pay attention, like these guys are coping, and they're still coping with the fact that they're an incel and they are an incel. And if you pulled them off to the side and maybe spoke to them like, "Hey, man, you got to grow. Like, what's going on with you?" They'll open up probably.
Yep. Yep. But they got a lot of guys, like you said, they'll mask it because they got egos and they don't they don't want people to look at them that way, so they'll be looking fresh and all that. But you'll see them by themselves, going to a steakhouse or gym coping or whatever other copes they got going on. But they
Yeah,
ain't be
don't ever approach a black man asking him does he got like what he got going on because he'll get mad. Like black men take this shit very seriously.
Tyrone. Yeah,
Tyrone would be like, "Hey, fuck you, man! I got all the bitches." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, okay."
I got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one.
Or like a lot of these Tyrones, they out here coping with like fat land wells and shit. So
They're not fat, dude. They're thick. They're baddies.
Or they juicy or whatever. Fuck.
It's high calorie women. You know,
Let me see. John Law says delete is the only answer. Well, delete yourself then, faggot. The high priest
No,
said,
please don't do that, guys. Stick
they
around.
said gay
Okay,
is an
life is
option.
completely worthwhile, and
the high
AI is
priest
gonna
said, you
change the
have to
world in a
pay
few
to
years.
procreate. Procreate or be gay? What?
I mean, it's kind of the way I look at it. It's like we all spawn in a video game, and depending on where your spawn point is how good your life's going to be. So if you spawn, Donald Trump's son or Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos, you're going to have a pretty good spawn point, and you're going to have a pretty good life, and you're going to be up. I call like Trump. I call. Um, sorry about that. That's my dog. I call Trump. I call Bill Gates. I call Jeff Bezos. Those are main characters. We watch them on the news. We watch them. It's like the main character in a video game or in a movie. All of us, we're just the background. You don't even know their names. Wherever the main character traverses, if you look in the background, they're just people walking or taking out the trash or working at their office job, whatever. We're just the background people. We're not
Yeah,
even, you know. So our in this video game, because we're born in this government, and in my opinion, they never did away with monarchies. The people in charge right now are the children of those monarchies, and they just masked it or hid it by putting parliaments and governments. You
I'm in
know,
a
That's
monarchy
not.
right now.
Well, actually, that's not quite
Yeah.
true, man. Because like the monarchs were the main people reproducing, and so they'd have all these kids, and like all those kids, like some of them would just kind of lose their nobility status after a while, and so
Yeah.
like it's actually like the general population that would be descended from them people, if anything. But I know what you're trying to say, though. There are like certain lines that have endured over time that maybe some of the elites come from, but you've
yeah.
also had new elites rise up over time too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of like the point I was trying to make. Like, yeah, not all of them made it, but they learned that instead of having a king or a queen that's visible, um, uh, they established a government, and they just had them as their puppets to do their will. Like England couldn't even do that. They still got a king, they still got a queen and prince and all that. And I think even like Spain and Portugal, but they have a parliament. They're supposedly they don't do anything. But the ones that survived, because why put yourself out there so that, like you said, another king, another country, nobility could come and kill your entire bloodline to take the throne? Like, so they learn, to protect themselves against the people, like during the French Revolution, or when, another kingdom comes and they have to kill your bloodline to take over. They just formed a government.
I think it's mainly like bureaucrats that run the government. Not so much, the politicians like Trump or whatever. It's mainly just unelected bureaucrats. That's the
Yeah,
big thing with it.
yeah. Well, Trump's just a puppet. Like if you can see, all of them are puppets. Biden, Kamala, but they're still born of main character, blue blood nobility. And it stems from the past. I mean, unless you're born into old money, it's really. I mean, you can have money. You could be new money, but you're just gonna be like P Diddy. You're not really gonna have any power. But
Yeah, well, he technically, does he have power?
Nah,
He'd be like half the case. He'd be
that,
half.
I
that
don't know why people are so preoccupied with this planetary royalty, these billionaires. Like, People talk about them way too much. I understand, like, it's a big problem that the governments and that the world have let these people even become that rich, because having that many billions just mean that so many millions have to go without, you know? It's money that is just sitting there accumulating more money in investments, basically sucking the wealth out of the country that is already being, or out of the working and middle class, almost non-existent middle class. They're already being strangled by inflation and the devaluation of the currency and all these different things.
So that's why you invest. Yeah.
Well, yeah, sure.
As somebody who invests very heavily, I will tell you there's no amount of investing you can do as a regular person that's gonna like get you out of the shit. Like I've got hundreds of thousands of dollars on my stock portfolio, man. If I was really out here trying, I would still be struggling, you know. So I can only imagine for the average person.
Yeah, investing won't get you out of it. You're absolutely right, Emperor. Like, for example, I have a family member. He's director of development, and he has $1 million. He's been investing since he was young, 20 years old, and he's been in programmer, and he's in development now, and he has $1 million in just his in different investments that he has, and he's still a virgin, and he's 40, I believe. So um, it it took. He's very frugal. He's very good with his money. He's like the accountant, but without the John Wick added to it. You know, with Ben Affleck. He's very structured. Very, doesn't spend his money, saves his money, invest it. But at the end of the day, like I can see now, he's like it's just fruitless because in order for you to become a millionaire as a regular normie person that was born, into a just a normal working class family, um, that is your life. You became a millionaire, but you didn't enjoy anything. I mean, you're going to go into the retirement home a millionaire, but you can't turn back to being 18 and go into Cancun and go into Acapulco. What you could do is if you manage to have a kid, donate that money to him or donate it to somebody else, and they could live the lavishing lifestyle of a millionaire with the money that you spent, but your life just went to waste.
But then they wouldn't have the same. They wouldn't have the same level of willpower or drive or appreciation for it,
Yep.
like that you got, accumulating it. So they probably will blow it.
Yep, exactly.
That happened to a family member of mine, man.
Yep. But like the point that based Orca was making, why are people so so gravitate to what the billionaires are doing instead? Because they're the main characters. We're just here. They take so much out of
Depends on your perspective, dude. That just
Most
depends on
people
what you're
don't-
paying attention to.
Well, like I was just going to
Like
your
the main
point.
characters, the main characters in my life are the people I'm traveling around with nomadically, that I'm camping with, and the friends that we have, and like there's a bunch of characters in my story right now, and they're like basically the only real people. Like all these Elon Musks and Bill Gates and stuff like that. I don't talk about it. I don't sit chronically online and watch YouTube 12 hours a day anymore.
I know what you're saying, but they do take about 30 to 40% of your income through taxes, and they do that to millions of people in the U.S., and that's how they're able to fund their lifestyle.
But I don't have a job or an income or like, an address.
So you are going to have to pay attention to them, and I know you have, even though you're saying you're not, because they just did the Doge cuts. They cut Medicaid, and if you don't work, obviously you're getting money.
Black pill.
Listen,
Black
dude,
pill.
I'm not even American,
Orca's not an American.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were an American. My bad. Never mind.
Listen, I used to be chronically online, and because of that, I developed a pretty convincing American accent. Not quite, certain things you can definitely tell I'm not American, but I don't sound Danish. I don't have that thick Danish accent that I absolutely despise.
I mean, dude, listen.
I have a pretty decent vocabulary as well.
Like, listen to his voice, man. Like, does this sound like an American? Like, he sounds very European.
So? I don't really necessarily think so, but I definitely don't come across convincingly American. But I don't sound British, right?
Well, no, I wouldn't say British. It's some variation of European. It's like a conglomeration of different European accents.
No, but what I mean is like I don't sound like a stereotypical Danish person or like a German person. Danish people sound kind of like German person when you think of that stereotype of how they speak. Uh, I don't know. Maybe at least to myself, I think I sound a little more towards American sounding, even, although not convincing.
I mean,
But yeah,
the
maybe
world's
that's another reason I don't really care so much about this stuff. But I've always been in the American sphere of knowledge. I've always seen American news and like been on YouTube. I haven't watched TV since like what 2009 or 10 or some shit. Like it's all been YouTube, and as a result, I'm very exposed to American culture and news. And
I mean, that's basically the whole damn world exposed to the American spirit, unless you live in freaking China or some shit.
yeah,
and China's westernized, to be honest. Like a lot of
it's
parts
getting
of
more
China are
westernized,
too.
but it's definitely different just because of the communist government, right?
Yeah, that's the main thing. The Communist Party, and like they're crazy fucking authoritarian too.
Yeah, they got a social credit score system. Yeah.
So
Well,
Orca, yeah. So you're Danish, is that what you said?
yeah, yeah, born
Well,
and bred.
well, here
I'm
might
not white though.
you're white.
I'm not white though.
You're not white. Well, here might be a solution. Now, it's a little risky, but I mean, Ukraine. I don't know how close Ukraine is to where you're at, but like they've lost a lot of men, so you could probably
Mm.
Ukraine max.
But those
You
women
wouldn't
got
have get
fucking
hit with a
HIV,
drone.
and like Orca don't want
But
no
listen,
woman
dude,
really.
the last thing I'm
Okay.
looking for right now is a woman. Like I'm finally happy. I'm living how I want to live, and I mean, sure, having a woman come along would be like a nice luxury, but it's just that. It's just extra. It's icing on top. Really, I got what I need right now.
I gotcha. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're
Yeah,
if you're content and happy, well, then you're good.
and all and also I recognize the temporary nature of modern relationships. I don't want to just have someone love me for a couple of years and then it's over. I kind of realized that I'm probably not going to get that long term thing that I was looking for in relationships because of just what women have become, and as a result I'm just not really looking anymore. I'm not the I'm not the angry or spiteful, or like I've completely come to terms with the fact that I'm not what women want, and I don't really think they're what I want either.
Pussy is a distraction for the monastic journey.
I mean, he's at peace.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. You're on acceptance.
Yeah.
So
But at the same time, I don't think it's a good idea to go to Ukraine and risk your life over some coochie.
yeah,
I mean,
man.
them Ukrainian girls are hella racist anyway. So if you are literally white, you might catch some strays from them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've
Well,
been with one. They're not really. At least the one I was with wasn't. Maybe there is. Like I know they have like the Azov Battalion, and they have some neo-Nazism and stuff. But like I met a lot of them. They're not racist. A lot of them get with black guys.
Bro, like when I was looking at the thing on news when the war first broke out, like you had black people in Ukraine getting treated like fucking animals. Like they wouldn't let the black people board the buses to like get out of Ukraine. Like the black people had
Yeah.
to march, like walk out of Ukraine because they wouldn't let them on the buses to get out.
Damn. Okay, I didn't know that.
Like, are
Wow.
you? Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Wow.
The
Then maybe
same
don't
thing in Poland.
do that.
I had somebody tell me one time, "Oh, why don't you come to Poland, bro?" I'm like, I don't. Why the fuck would I come to Poland? Like black people get beat up in Poland.
Damn. I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. I didn't know there was racism over there. That
Yeah.
big of a deal. I thought they were. I always thought Europe was, and I was under the false pretense, I guess, but they were more accepting of like LGBT and different cultures and stuff like that. I
Bro,
don't know
like
why.
That's
the
probably like
the men there might take a dick in the ass, but they still ain't like no naggers coming around.
I mean, maybe in like France, certain parts of Spain, the UK, but in like Poland, Ukraine, those like Eastern European countries, man.
I
Yeah,
mean, even knowing that if I really wanted to come there, I'd come, and I'd have a way of going about it. But like, I don't even want to come there in the first place. I don't want a white girl. I don't have the white fever.
I gotcha. Yeah, yeah.
Now I got the yellow fever.
The what do you like? Thailand, Chinese, Vietnam,
I like
South
them
Korea.
all, dude.
All of them, yeah. I had a buddy. He was a Marine, and he was white. He was about 6'7" or 6'8". I never liked him standing behind me because it just felt really weird. I felt like he was like a giant and was gonna like eat me or something. So I would always get pissed off at him. But yeah, this guy was huge. He got himself a Japanese girlfriend over there. He lived out there for like God, I think like 5 or 6 years. And and he really liked his Japanese girlfriend, but he said that there was a lot of animosity because of World War II. So they didn't really like Americans.
Nah,
I
most
don't believe
Japanese
that.
people I've spoken to are like they would. First of all, they don't give a shit about
Yeah,
like history usually, but if they do, then maybe I don't know. But he's a white guy, so what does he care?
Yeah, and he was like 6'7" too. So he was huge. So
6'7", yeah, tall ass fucking
damn.
white guy. I could imagine a Japanese girl melting in his arms.
oh yeah, and but yeah, I've never been, but yeah, I mean, yeah, if that's where you want to go, that would be good. Um,
Let me read these comments.
James
James
going
Wan
off.
said, "If you choose not to have a woman, you might go gay." Speak for yourself, sir. The black man said, "I like Ukrainian women. I am still going to Poland. White women are top tier." Well, if you want to go be like some white woman's little freaking Negro boy, then you go right ahead.
now I will say, like, so I've been with black girls, Mexican. My wife was Mexican, and with Ukrainian. Actually I haven't been with just a normal white girl. She was Ukrainian, and I will say, like, just the smell of their skin and stuff, and the fact that they smells better than like Mexican or black, just naturally, and also they have less hair, which is more attractive, like to me at least. Less
Well,
hair.
white women.
Yeah, so like I kind of do prefer the whole Ukrainian look, to be
Nah,
honest.
I've been with white women sexually before. In my experience, they smell worse than. Well, they definitely smell worse than Asian women. I've only ever been with white and Asian before, so I haven't been with no Keishas. Haven't really tried
Oh,
Hispanic, although I am interested.
I've tried
It goes
basically
half and
everything
half.
except Hispanic, and I mean, for me, it's basically all the same. You get used to the taste and smell and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, see, I didn't know. Maybe it was a cultural thing too. Maybe it's just that they're more cleanly than Hispanic and black women. I don't
Yeah,
know.
absolutely. That's
Black
that's
women are
Man,
definitely my
freaking grotesque,
experience.
dude.
Oh, oh, believe me, yeah, believe me, I found that out the
what
hard.
if what if they're like half white and half black?
Yeah,
Well, if
absolutely.
they're
I
half
had a
white and
very
half black, they definitely ain't talking to my Negro ass.
Man,
Cause
them,
they're,
them biracial chicks they the best. I ain't gonna lie.
but they're the hardest to get though. So it's like, they look nice, but you definitely can't touch her. I can't.
I did get one who was half. She was half Mexican and half white.
I mean, I could probably get like a big
Yeah.
biracial girl, but nah, I'm good.
honestly these days, and I'm not even trying to promote this, but it just seems like the reasonable, logical thing to kind of steer clear, right?
Let me read this
These days,
comment.
unless you just want to pump and dump, right?
James Swan said Asian women only like white men. True, but there's an asterisk. There's definitely an asterisk to that. So I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I get Asian women and not ugly ones either. So
I
you
guess it
have to know
depends
how to
on.
approach them.
Yeah, I think it
Like
depends on where you're at.
anti-maxing as an
Yeah.
American. I mean, it's like going there. It's just different, you know. Being American to them, it's not so much about the color as much as it is about the fact that you're from America, you know.
The high priest said Asian women are the best in the universe. Black women are beautiful. Dude, you can't say those two statements at the same time, man. Pick one. Pick a struggle.
Now,
Me and Dion are not the big fans of black women.
I have seen now Emperor. I have seen Chinese women get with black guys, but the last one was she had a kid with him, and the girl turned out half black, half Chinese. But she divorced the guy like
Asian.
yeah, she divorced the guy like as soon as she close to when she got citizenship. And here's the funny part. So she moved to Texas to because she said it was better taxes and everything. But now her daughter got accepted, I think it was Berkeley or whatever big major college is outside of San Francisco. I think it's Berkeley or UCLA or something like that. But anyways, she's moving back over there, and everybody was like really surprised. But me knowing what I know, what she probably did is like in Texas, in the Midwest, generally, because it's different from state to state. You only have to pay child support till you're 18. But because she has primary custody, she doesn't even have to consult the other parent if the guy lives in Texas, let's say, in another town or whatever, so the child support case is in Texas, she probably got it transferred to California. That way, he has to continue to pay child support till she's 24. Because if you listen to the news, that's what Elon Musk baby mamas are trying to do to him.
Wait,
If you
how could they do that? Because I thought it
yeah
was
yeah
up to you. I thought it was up till the 18.
Nah, some
no
states are different.
yeah, it
Oh,
depends on the state. In California, it has the strictest law or the most harmful laws against men, if you want to put it that way. But yeah, it's up till they're 24. If they're going to college and if they're like maintaining a
oh,
GPA over a C or like a 3.25 or 3.0, yeah, they have to pay child support till they're 24. That's why Elon Musk, he's fighting with his baby mama, the custody while the election was going on, because he wanted custody in Texas so that because it's more, it's not as severe as in but she moved to California with a kid and was trying to get custody in California. So the lawyers were duking it out, you
Mm.
know, which is also
I just
why,
found out about that.
yeah, which is also why the prince, what was the son that married that half white, half black girl from Canada? Uh,
Prince Harry,
Prince
I
Harry
think.
and
Yeah.
Merkel something. What's her name? Angela or what's her name? Merkel, his wife. Anyways, so they moved from England to Canada where her parents live. Then they moved to California, and he doesn't know it yet. But she's gonna, when she divorces him and puts him on child support, he's completely screwed. And that's why they do it because California has the biggest payout for the longest amount of time.
Bro, I don't know. If I was getting fucked over by a Asian girl like that and getting put on child support, I don't know, man. Like it might almost be worth it to me. Fucking, I'm down bad for Asian girls.
They're smarter, so they're playing the long game with you.
It might be better for you to what, Emperor? I didn't catch that.
I got it down bad for Asian girls.
Oh, okay. Well. So here's the thing too that a lot of guys don't know. So let's say something happens to you. You're in a car accident and you pass away, or whatever, or you're a work site accident. Now the state pays the child support, and depending on what state you are, but like in Texas or any Midwest state, it's around about $950 a month until the kid is 18. Of course, if it was in California, it'd probably be higher until the kid is 24. So like, a lot of guys will say like, well, what if I'm not here or something? Well, they're still getting a payout. It's even better because it's coming straight from the government.
Is that on top of Social Security? Because I know they'll give you Social Security if your parents die.
Yeah, it comes out of the Social Security.
Okay.
So if so let's say you have your kid and your wife dies. The government's going to take it out of whatever Social Security she paid in. And yeah, they'll give you 900 and something dollars a month. And it's even better because you don't have to deal with the other parent and you're just getting the money now.
Yeah.
So.
Ah, shit, that child support thing though, man, that is one of the most insidious things still to this day. And it's still just as bad as ever too, you know? Like that's kind of the whole. Yeah.
It's worse. It's worse than ever. Like I said, in a lot of states, in the state that I reside in, they just changed it. And it's funny because the governor tried to block it, but the Republicans, like the Republican senators, they voted for it. For child support starts as soon as she's pregnant. So for the 9 months that she's pregnant, you have to start paying child support and her medical bills. Because when a girl's pregnant, she has to go get her sonogram every few months to make sure everything's okay. And if she's under 18, she's a high risk pregnancy. If she's over 38, she's a high risk pregnancy. So yeah, you're screwed. And don't think like, oh, I can go hide and they can't find me. No, they're adding. Yeah, they'll find you. There's no.
Well, I'd go to fucking Russia. Fuck that.
They got a task force that are made just for that. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, if you stay in Russia, you'll be fine. But Interpol will get you if you go to like Europe or any like Australia or England or any Western country.
Yeah, imagine getting stopped somewhere in fucking Europe. Like, oh, you owe child support. Like, nigga, what?
Yeah, and you'll owe thousands on it because they put about 7 or 8% interest on each. Like, let's say you have to pay $900 a month. That's a loan from the government, and they will tack 7 to 8% compounding interest on each month because each month is counted like an individual loan, so it adds up real quick.
Plus the bills, that's like tens of thousands of dollars, man.
It is, and it's never pardoned. Like, even if you retire, they'll take it right out of your Social Security. They don't care.
Cause I heard it costs like $50,000 just to have a kid. From just.
I don't know. Personally, I think that shit's bullshit. Where they say, "Oh, it costs X amount of money to have it." No, it don't.
No, just from the hospital to give birth. That whole process costs $50,000 just to give birth.
It's expensive.
Oh, that's some bullshit.
Yeah.
It's expensive because what happens when you go to the hospital is a lot of girls, especially if it's their first child, they'll be giving birth, and when they're trying to push it out, they could be in labor like for 12 hours, 24 hours, and then the hospital immediately goes like, hey, it's not crowning. We need to do a cesarean. And most people, because it's painful, because childbirth is painful, childbirth can kill a mother. It has for a long time. The mother dying from childbirth was a real thing until modern times, because modern medicine and techniques like cesarean. So they'll do a cesarean, and a cesarean is immediately, at least where I live, it's with the anesthesia, with the operation and all this other stuff. Just a cesarean, not the hospital stay, all the medicines and everything else. Just a cesarean is 27 grand.
Ooh.
So, I mean, it is expensive. nowadays, like people who like a lot of the people that have cesarean are extremely poor or migrants. Why? Because they're on Medicaid and the government pays for it in totality. If you're super poor, the government pays for it. If you're on welfare and all that. If you're a working class, I don't even want to say middle class because working class, like you make between 25 to $200,000 a year, you got to pay out of pocket. So what they've chose to do is to have midwives, I believe it's called. Well, pretty much they have a kid at home. So instead of going to hospital, they'll have a kid at home. They'll have it naturally, and it'll cost them anywhere between 3 to 5 thousand. And they'll have like a couple nurses come in and a doctor, just during the labor. But they have to do all the cleanup. They have to clean up the blood, the sheets.
Bro, just lay down a tarp.
Yeah, 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 and they don't even take medicine. My sister actually did that because she's a contractor and she gets good money, but they don't pay for their insurance because she does the whole 1099. And she ended up paying, I think, about 5,000, but they didn't give her any medicine, and she was screaming, and they were about to call the ambulance and haul her off because the kid wasn't crowning after like, I don't know, 23 hours, 25. But finally the kid came out, but they just did it. A lot of people do it now because they just don't want to pay, 30-35 grand, or like you said, I'm sure in some places it's 50 grand just to have the kid. But it's okay now because they're making men pay for it, I guess. So
Yeah, no, fuck that shit, man. That's some bullshit, to be honest. But you know what? That's another reason to not have a kid in this fucking country.
Yep, I agree.
On one level, though, like I can kind of understand why some women are so fucking crazy too. Because imagine being like a creature that, like, by necessity of like after you have sex, you get a whole human being growing inside your tummy, and then like you've got to go through this risky process to give birth to it, like that. Like you, it's kind of easy to see why some women might be a bit crazy.
Yeah, it is, but here's the thing: like, they're in the West, women are 100% agency entitled Western sleuths. So
Yep.
they have sex all the time and they abort babies all the time. I don't want to get into the morality, whatever. That's just what they do, and they only drop an anchor baby. Like, it just depends. If they're like, well, if they're in poverty, they're just going to do it with Pookie and Ray Ray. They don't give a shit. But like your typical Western college educated woman, she's banged out a bunch of dudes, and she strategically drops a baby to like a software engineer, perma-virgin incel guy that's making a page so that she can extract as many resources voluntarily or involuntarily through the laws. So it's the reason why they don't legalize male birth control, because they know if they did that, a lot of men would just not have any kids because all they
Well,
want
they
is
just
sex.
did. They just did drop that male birth control shit,
Where?
and like these women are freaking the fuck out.
I know. I heard about that, but I didn't know they had legalized it. But I did hear about that in the news.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, I'm surprised too, because like birth rate, it's like if they legalize prostitution the way they have it, like in Europe and stuff, a lot of men wouldn't even get married because they really just want the sex. Like, me, I'm already 40. I'm 41. I already had a kid. I've been married. I've been divorced. I'm not looking for a relationship or like want that picket fence. Like, the only love I want is like the sex, and that's it.
Hold on.
So
Is the pill called YTC 529? I just looked it up, the birth control pill.
I don't know what it's called, but I heard that he dropped it.
Yeah, it's on. Happened back in July.
Me personally, though, like I know most men just want the sex. I don't really care about sex. I think sex is disgusting, to be honest with you. I mean, it's fun for a little bit, but it's really just quite disgusting. And like afterwards, I'm like, bro, did I just sit here rolling around with this disgusting, fat, sweaty creature? Like,
Yeah, I've been there. Honestly, at this point, I can't even have like casual sex anymore. It's repulsive to me. Like, not even if they just showered.
Yeah, no, I don't even like. Well,
Wait,
it's like
wait.
I said, I do like it, but like if I could go without it, if I could just get a kid and never do it again, I would.
I don't know. I just feel like it's 10 times better if you got at least just a few feelings for the other person. It doesn't have to be the love of your life, but like you at least have to, care for them somewhat, and that
Yeah,
just
that
makes
would be
life
nice,
so much
but we
better.
can't have that.
Yeah, you don't have to
Yeah,
tell me that.
yeah, but based Orca, so that kind of love that you're talking about, I believe this is my opinion only, but it's really only. I mean, if you're looking for that type of love, the best person to get that from is like a kid, your
Yeah,
son, daughter.
yeah. That's why I want to have a kid. Well, okay, that's not the only reason why I want to have a kid, but I know, like a kid would make a lot of things just make sense for me. You know?
It would. It's because you're gonna learn unconditional love. You're gonna learn a lot of patience. You're gonna learn like, oh, okay, this is like the meaning of life, and now you got to put your kid before yourself and save up
And
money.
I absolutely would too.
Yeah, and it makes it easier too because like your kid's always gonna love you. Yeah, you'll have a conflict, which is normal, but you're always gonna love each other, and you're gonna show them stuff, and you're gonna tell them about the black pill and the way the world is and stuff like that,
I
and
don't think I'd tell them about the black pill unless I see they're starting to need it.
Well, the black pill, dude, a lot of it has gone not like to the level that we talk about it, but when it comes to lookism and genetics, a lot of it can be found on TikTok. It's kind of gone
Yeah.
main on the lookism wise.
Well, they don't call it the black pill. They just call it like fucking
Look,
mid maxing or some shit.
looks maxing.
Looks maxing. There you go. Looks maxing. Yeah.
But yeah, I know looks maxing, but I know like normies don't even necessarily say looks maxing. They might call it something else.
Yeah, and like so at my daughter's school, like all the girls say stuff like it's normal for all of them to say I'm skinny maxing, or I'm gym maxing, or
That's
I'm
crazy too. You know, that's crazy because I remember like when all these terms were being made like by some of the original creators in this space. And then it's like now like all this shit that went fucking mainstream, everybody using it, like what?
Yep, yep. Facing LMS, yep. And now everybody, yeah, like
Yeah,
everybody,
a lot of these terms were first spoken on a fucking Black Pill live stream years ago.
yep, almost 10 years ago. But yeah, that unconditional love really could, in my opinion, and from what I've experienced, can really only be gotten from a child. But you'll still have the urge every once in a while to have the sex, and that's where I think it would be nice if they opened up brothels here. They're not going to do it because they want you to get married so that they can get you to sign the contract and all that crap, get you on the hook. But yeah, that's just
Yeah,
my opinion.
we got too many fucking boomers in power, dude. They don't understand. Like, oh, we need to get these fucking men to get married, and it's like, bro, like half the men are fucking insult, dude. Like, who are they going to get married to? They hand,
Yeah. uh,
and then
well,
they'll probably be like, oh, well, the men are insult because they're lazy. They don't work. Like, yeah, sure, bro.
pull yourself up by the bootstraps. With my paper route job, I was able to buy 3 homes, a yacht, and put my kids to through Harvard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nah. But another thing too, though, is that there's like even just economically, it's just such an insane gap between like the rich and the poor people, and like I absolutely am an advocate for investing in shit like this. But the main thing that investing really does, in my opinion, is it just puts into perspective just how insanely fucked the average person is. You know, like
I mean,
you can get yourself just high enough to see the picture a lot more accurately, but you'll never get high enough to where Like you're actually like escaping it, you know.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I know exactly where you're coming from. Like, you're like high enough where you're like, man, I go to Walmart and I see the normies not buying any meat, and they're buying like this human version of dog food in bags.
Like it gives you a much more accurate perspective of just like what's going on here economically.
Yeah, and then you're like, like the person I was telling you about, they're like, yeah, like you can either have money in investments, or you like everything comes at a cost, so you can save up a bunch of money, but you're gonna be a virgin. Yeah, you can have $1 million by the time you're 40, but you'll be a virgin. Or you
Yep.
could have a family and be in credit card debt, have a mortgage, a car payment, and be stressed the hell out. Everything comes at a cost. There's no, unless you're born rich, there's no like, there's any choice you pick doesn't really get you everything in life unless you're rich.
You can do it
Like
in moderation.
the average person can absolutely become a millionaire, but it's like you're
At
gonna
what?
have to put so much time and effort into that at this stage, like after I got like a few $100,000, it's like, bro, fuck this. I'd rather like stop it here, and like if I get lucky on some fucking meme stock or some shit, that's great. But if not, I'll be content right here. This is like a good enough elevated position.
Yeah, and just think about the boomers. They became millionaires because one, inflation was low. Their jobs actually paid well. They had pensions, so when they retired, they still got income, and then they were offered 401ks, which made them millionaires just by doing that. A lot of them were like, "What? I have like $2 million in my 401k. I didn't even know." You know, and that was just a ploy because they wanted to get people off pensions. So they got the whole kit and caboodle. They got to have their cake and eat it too. But everybody preceding them, younger Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, just got screwed.
Yeah,
You know.
they got the full ride and the whole package.
Yep. So
And me,
and
and then meanwhile, it's like, oh, you didn't work hard enough, son. You need to work hard like I did, and pull yourself up by your bootstrap and give a firm handshake.
yep, exactly.
You mean fucking give Chat GPT a firm handshake?
I remember I once posted a quote on my old channel that said, "We're all out here scavenging for spare parts for a sewing machine to start sewing together the bootstraps that we can finally pull ourselves up by."
Yep.
Yeah, somebody wrote in the comments, being a millionaire and a virgin is stupid. But here's the dichotomy of it. Like, if you're a normie and your plan is to be rich, because in your mind, if you become a millionaire, you're gonna have a good life. You gotta forego anything else because women cost money. If you're just a normal dude, you can't become a millionaire and have a girl. I mean, most people can't. Like, unless like Imper said, you get a meme stock and
Yeah, if you
oh,
hit like a meme stock or win the lottery or get an inheritance like that, that's great. But like the normal way of getting $1 million, yeah, you can definitely do it, but your hairline's going to be gone. You're going to be fat. You're going to
yeah,
be probably jaded from all that work you did.
buying clothes from the DMV or Goodwill, eating macaroni and cheese and ramen noodle because you
Yeah,
got
you ate a
to.
bunch of slop, so now you're going to have like freaking like all kind of health issues. Now you got to use those
Yep,
millions to like fix your fucking health.
yep,
Damn,
yep,
wasted all my hospital bills.
yep, exactly. So like being a millionaire, yeah, and a virgin is yeah, but you have to dedicate your life to just that. And if just having a bunch of money makes you happy, well, I guess for me it wouldn't be worth it. But like, yeah, it's like if you ever drive, and if you ever drive in the rich part of towns, in the suburbs, where they have $1 million homes. They have like private tennis courts, swimming pools, the whole kit caboodle. You'll look outside and you won't see anybody outside. They'll have like basketball court. You won't see kids. You won't see anything. And I was talking to my brother once, and we're like, "Damn, look at these nice homes." And we were like, "No, where are the kids at?" And they're like, "They can't. They probably can't even have kids. They're doctors, surgeons, lawyers, and they're probably working long hours just to have the home. So, like, is it really worth having such a nice home? You know, it would be, I guess, if you were a kid of theirs because you would get to enjoy it. But the actual doctor and lawyer, they're not enjoying any of it.
Nope.
They're at the hospital, you know, they're at their law firm.
And you, like, really, you don't get to enjoy it too if you don't have like the time to like build a family, like to enjoy that stuff too, or put a family in it. Like if you just buy like a big home and it's empty, it's like, what's the point? Like I had to explain this to a girl that I'm talking to right now. You know, she's like, oh, why don't you buy a home? I'm like, yeah, I could do that, but like if I don't have like a woman there with me, it's like, what's the point? It's just a fucking empty home.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, women love the homes, but yeah, no, I mean, you hit it right on the nail. That there is no point. You know, it's like, and
Like
that's
most guys are
Then you
happy to
being a
just sleep on a
nomad is the
fucking street.
ultimate representation.
yeah,
Nah, I ain't trying to sleep on the street.
yeah, and I hate that. I hate that, guys. When I hear a lot of black pillars telling other people you got a money max, like, and they really gravitate toward like the IT, being an IT guy, you know, getting
I'm the
into
other way
network.
around.
Now
You got a
everybody can't be
minimalist
in
max.
IT.
You
Yeah,
got a minimalist max, guys. That's the quickest way to get rich. Just decrease the amount of money that you spend.
yeah.
Yep.
But I heard a lot. I don't know now, but I remember a few years ago they were like, you know, get this certificate, get that, you know, go to networking, go to computer programming, you know, do this, do that, and I'm like, guys, I'm 41 years old. All throughout my life, I've seen men that are, most of them in IT are single. They're physically unattractive. They're kind of weird. They work very long hours. They don't even have time for a relationship. And they become a person that nobody really wants to be around because they're weird. It's not like making money makes you the most interesting man in the world. And I would imagine people that are doctors and lawyers, they also become this way, you know, just you it's almost like, I don't know if it's the right way to put, like, you lose a part of your humanity. You lose you can't be a computer guy, you can't be Chad, become a computer guy and still be Chad, the cool Chad. You're you're gonna become like some office schmuck that a girl will just not respect. She would respect more the Tyrone that just came out of prison than some office computer schmuck. You know,
People are running a crypto scan in the chat. Guys, don't be running no freaking crypto scams in my chat.
But
Yeah, get that shit out of here. Don't be promoting your coins.
I'm very anti crypto. It's like I'll flat out tell you, if you want to lose all your fucking money, invest in crypto.
actually,
Yep, I agree.
I'm the opposite.
It's a waste of time. It's a Ponzi
I'd
scheme.
say 99% of it is just a scam, except for Bitcoin and ETH.
what,
That's it.
what are you
Even
what are you
Bitcoin
guys
is a
talking
Ponzi
about?
scheme.
Get the Hawk to a coin. It's going up, bro.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
mean, if you're
started.
literally part
Gonna
of like a
show
group
off
that
just
pumps
because
shit
people buy.
coins and shit like this, is
Yeah,
you could
that's the,
you can be you can make a lot of money if you're part of like the in group that pumps shit coins. But I mean, then I would consider it immoral.
look at Bitcoin. Like back in 2019, it was around like $20,000. Now it's 100. You know, that's, Ethereum was like $600 back in 2020. Now it's like 4,000. So
I
it's
don't really
like,
care so much. I'm more about living than investing.
Yeah, no, I'm a big advocate of like money, but like guys, money is just one of many things you need to string together. That's why like I have like this whole thing in like my monastic philosophy where it's like I've got like these 9 activities specifically that you need to focus on. And you really need to bring all of these together in order to like kind of make it in the world and get ahead, you know? That's why I talk about these things. Money's just one aspect. It's my one of my favorite aspects because I know a lot about it. But money alone, like you'll just be a rich loser, pretty much.
But
Yep.
it's also why you can't do this alone, right, Dion? Why you kind of like need a little monastic group or
Well,
something
yeah,
like that.
yeah. What's up, Red
Hey,
Pill in the Wind?
hey, I'm doing all right. So far, so good. I'm enjoying my weekend.
Oh yeah, you got some alcohol there.
Yep. I decided to try to enjoy the drink of the Pookies.
Coke.
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
decided.
Red Pill in the Wind is also a trucker, just like me. He's got his own
Oh, I
channel.
see. I
Yeah.
see.
See,
I
how are y'all doing today?
Oh, I'm
Uh, we're
pretty chill.
we're just hanging out.
I'm in a tent right now. I love it. I'm in my sleeping bag. I think Melvin might have fallen asleep.
oh, no, I'm still here.
Oh, that's cool.
Just enjoying this.
Ah, shit, my
The
bitch
thing
is
is,
messaging me now.
so what's the
It's
topic
three
for today?
o'clock over here, by the way, guys. It's 3 in the
Yeah,
morning.
what's the topic for today?
the title says many inkwells deserve no snuggles.
Oh snap!
That's what I was
Huh.
starting off the stream talking about. I kind of had like a whole list of points to go through, and I went through them. And I think I'm pretty like basically the whole point is that like yeah we talk about like what women doing like how bad it is with shit like that, but a lot of guys also do need to do some self reflection too. I did this with myself, you know, like I've recognized that you know when I was getting girls for a bit there, like I did fuck over a couple girls that were actually kind of good, you know. So like
Yeah, same.
some introspection is needed. And that's
Oh
Yeah.
my
part of this.
god, I definitely messed up. I definitely messed up bad. Oh my god.
Well,
Yeah, that's kind of part of like the whole monastic journey thing too, where it's like you know it's you're on this journey of like self reflection and kind of like reorienting your way into the world and like what's your place in it and like kind of detaching yourself from it as well as like understanding your place in it.
Yeah.
that's one of the things that one of the ways that I use my 34 reset. That's
Let
one
me
of the
read some
ways that I
comments.
Yeah, that's one of the ways that I use my 34 reset. Or I mean, I haven't been over the road about almost a year, so this is still 34 reset.
Well, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm on a 34 reset.
Now on the 34 reset, I would always reflect. Like I said, what could I have been? What could I have done different? I look. I had in my driving school. I had a driving instructor because the route we took us right past a chick's house that with a little bit of work, was because she was willing to put in the work to make herself better. I should have said, "Look, man, I gotta go help this chick out. She's willing to put in the work. I'm gonna go help out, and I'm gonna let her know that I'm right outside the door, getting out the semi truck." And he would have vouched for me, you know, because I said I put myself in a position to where I'm top of the class. I can get away with some things, you know.
Yeah, let me read this comment. Clippus left a really good comment. Clippus Maximus said, "Don't shape your life about what women like. Do what you're good at. Live life too. No job will solve your entire life." I 100% agree with that. Very based
Yeah,
comment.
It,
Yeah,
yeah.
it
having
a job
having
is
having no job will solve your entire life. I can definitely tell you
Yeah, like, dude, a lot of the system these days is built around enslaving you, and one of the main ways they do it is through your damn job.
it, but you, like I said, it won't solve your entire life. It'll solve aspects of your life,
It'll put
certain
some
point,
money in your pocket, and money does solve some things.
So,
but it
wow.
won't. But what you got to trade to get it? What do you
But
have to
money
trade to
also
get it?
can enslave you too.
It's basically all it is. This is a saying that a black pill that one of my friends. It's just nothing more than what do you want? What type of cuffs do you want? What type of handcuffs do you want? What type of shackles do you want?
And there's a lot of people with golden handcuffs.
Now, are they pushing them golden handcuffs to to the full potential? That's the question.
Well, the good thing about golden handcuffs is that gold is very malleable, at least if it's pure, and so you could easily break it apart, the handcuff made of gold.
Now, the thing is, it's like when you have golden handcuffs, we're mentally conditioned to treat gold as a precious metal. So, being a precious metal being valued, we are conditioned not to want to break those golden handcuffs.
No, because their intrinsic value is in its weight, which doesn't trade. It doesn't change from breaking out of the handcuffs. I was just being cheeky.
Hold on, let me read this comment. The high priest said, "Nope, money is all that matters. Stop lying, Dion." High priest, how much money do you have? What's your net worth, high priest? Tell me. If you have a net worth higher than mine, then you can say that. But if you don't, I'm telling you, money is just one aspect of many things you need to put together.
Guys, it's like 3 in the morning for me. I think I'm
The
gonna
thing,
sleep. I got shit to do tomorrow. But it's been
the
really
thing
Yeah,
nice.
is, the thing
I
is
kind I
about
kind of
money.
kept you up a little bit past your bedtime, Orca.
Yeah,
I guess I'll see
Oh,
you
don't
later.
worry about it. Yeah, yeah,
Alright.
we'll talk, man.
See you, Orca.
It was nice talking to you guys too. See ya.
next time too. The crazy thing about money is I don't have it all just invested in my house or in my vehicle. Like I said, I try to get things that, if need be, like I said, I'm planning on ordering tobacco seeds. Believe it or not, you can order them as long as you declare that you're going to be the only one partaking. You need until you get a tobacco license, which is basically getting fairly easy, you know. But if I get tobacco seeds, I'll be able to grow them, and I can basically make cigars. Make 3 grades. You can make 3 grades of cigars with one plant. You can make a high grade cigar, like a full leaf cigar that the ends that you've got to cut off. Then you can make it into a medium grade cigar. The ends that you cut off on that, you can make a low grade cigar. Which
Hey, you don't think you could maybe make a business off of that, like making premium cigars and like selling them to people?
Yeah,
you
make
can.
start trapping
It's not
cigars, man. Trapping
if
them
you. It's
cigars.
basically your first few years is learning how to make them. Second, about your third year, you have an idea of what you want your cigars to be like, the qualities you want your cigars to be. And one of the things that many cigar companies, alcohol companies, they always put a little bit in reserve for the rare stocks, for the aged stocks. Like, you ever heard of 20 year? But there's always 4 year, 8 year, 10 year, 20, 15 year bourbon. There's always that have been aged for like years. They always take a little bit to pass to age it so that it's more expensive.
Bro,
That's
them
what my
cigars are nothing to joke around with. I heard if you smoke a cigar, it's like the equivalent of like smoking 20 cigarettes or some shit.
that is why you don't inhale. That is why you never inhale a cigar because that it's like blasting your lungs with freaking nicotine.
Yeah, you can get
Oh,
nicotine poisoning.
you always let it sit in your mouth and you let it dissipate over time.
I've never smoked a cigarette in my life. I just don't like the idea of putting a phallic object in my mouth. So I've never smoked before.
I look at it as a nipple. As a nipple.
But
I
I
never
Nah,
guess
saw it as
it's
a
you
phallic
not
object.
shaped like a nipple.
I know it's shaped like a phallic object, but guess what? I've been like I said, I grew up. My dad smoked in the. My dad smoked. Both of my parents smoked. You know, which basically
Brutal.
is it is what it is. Basically, I grew up. I was born in the '80s. Grew up in the '90s. I saw a lot of laws that were passed that I thought were bullshit. That I still think to this day are bullshit. Like they don't even put ashtrays in cars no more. You don't even got a cigarette lighter in your car, like the old push button ones where you push it in and cigarette lighter glows cherry red and it pops out.
You know what? I've noticed that actually. No, they don't put ashtrays in cars anymore. But like, I didn't notice that until you said it though, because I ain't a smoker.
Well, as a smoker, you tend to learn some things. You tend to observe some things. Like I plan on now that I've caught up on taxes, and I plan on as soon as I pay off my car, I'm building my vehicle. I'm building my personal vehicle. I'm going to build it.
what's it gonna be?
It's going to be a Jeep Wrangler because
A
that's a
Jeep? The
yeah
fuck you
Jeep.
want a Jeep for, dude? That's like a fucking white girl vehicle.
Hear me out. Back in the day, Jeeps. Back in the day, Jeeps weren't like that. It's going to be. I'm building a Jeep, not one of the newer Jeeps, one of the older Jeeps.
Well,
Like
Like the '80s?
freaking like a Jeep from like World War II or some shit.
Oh
the
no! That's going to be
Talking about one
after I
from the
build
'80s.
like maybe the '80s, maybe the closer to the '90s to early 2000s before it went Barbie, before it went complete and utter Barbie. But look here,
are you gonna have
hear me
like
out.
ducks all over the dashboard and duck stickers
Hear
and
me
stuff?
out. Hear me out. Like, I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I don't care about the ducks, but hear me out. Every Jeep before 2006, they weren't too bad. They had the 4.0 inline six. Some of them had like the older Jeeps had the 7 liter inline six. They weren't that bad. They had a little bit of kick to them. You know, these new Jeeps, they ain't got no kick.
Yes, they do.
They
They got the
they do.
Trackhawk. Yeah, the Trackhawk. It's a Hellcat engine and a
But
Jeep Cherokee.
you basically have to basically put it in there. I'm putting like I
Them
Oh
said,
them
no, that's it
Hellcat, them
comes like that
Hellcats, some
stock.
thing on Pookie mobiles.
Yeah.
but can they go off road?
Probably not.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So
maybe.
so when you're gonna put all this together, do you already have all the tools and like the garage space and all that stuff?
Who says you need garage space? You can do it right in front of your house.
I ain't gonna steal that.
What
No, they ain't.
I mean,
But
is it
what they gonna do with it with a chassis? They don't know what they're doing with the chassis.
Take it
Plus,
to the scrapyard and
Sell
sell it.
that's about it.
yeah,
That's about it.
but
But
what
then
about the
they'd have to get the flatbed on it.
yeah, but you're gonna leak because if you're gonna be rebuilding man, that takes months to rebuild a car.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not. No, I'm not rebuilding it. I'm building it from the ground up.
You should
Well,
vlog that and make
yeah, that's
YouTube videos.
a year at least. I don't know how experienced you are mechanics. Might go faster, but yeah, it'd be worth documenting on YouTube because people like watching that.
Yeah.
But like a garage space would probably be the best way to do it.
And you'll probably get a bunch of gearheads show up and tell you, "Oh, you're doing this wrong. You didn't hook this shit up the right way," and like they'll probably be right.
Yeah, that's probably right. I mean, basically, the goal is to at least try to get. I mean, my goal is to get another vehicle. Is just basically build the vehicle the way I want it to. You know,
Oh wait, don't you have to get it DMV certified?
it's going to be a kit car.
All right,
You have to go to the DMV and have it as a kit vehicle. You have to go to the
all right.
DMV, register it as either a kit vehicle or a crate vehicle.
I mean, and if you don't have the tools, it's going to cost you at least at least $1,000. Like if you go to Harbor Freight and you get all the skills,
Yeah.
like it's going to cost you at least $1,000, $2,000 tools.
Oh yeah,
Probably more
that's
than
why.
that.
Like I said,
Tools
I got
are-
at least a Home Depot within a few minutes, within driving distance. Walmart within driving distance, a Harbor Freight within driving distance, Tractor Supply within driving distance. Most of the parts that I'm gonna put on the most of the parts that I'm gonna put on my vehicle can be purchased from either Tractor Supply, Home Depot, or Walmart or Wally World.
Like the actual parts that you're going to put on your Jeep are going to come from Walmart, Home Depot.
So no, not the actual parts, just some of the accessories like the winch
Oh,
or Tractor Supply.
well, yeah, you can get them there. So for tools, if you want to get good tools, high quality professional tools, Harbor Freight has an Icon brand and a Quill brand, and like right now they have sales. Sign up to their app, and right now they have 40% off on all their stock. So they got
Not
good
a,
and they're good quality. I know they're from China, but I mean they're really good quality because most tools, unless you're getting Mac tools or Snap-on or from China.
Snap on. Oh my god.
But
Snap on.
I'm listening to a commercial right now.
Hey, look, I'm gonna say this: if you do own an older Jeep Wrangler, Quadratech.com.
Snap
Yeah,
on will put you in debt.
I know.
It's generational debt.
they want your firstborn kid, your left arm, your right leg, an inch off your Johnson, and your left nut.
But car parts are not cheap either. I don't know about a Jeep specifically, but like car parts are not cheap if you get OEM. Or like and with the tariffs, who knows how much more expensive they're going to be, because most of them are manufactured, at least the American cars I've noticed, they're manufactured in Canada and Mexico.
Bro, Orca left an epic comment. He said, "When I was young, I was poor, but after decades of hard work, I'm no longer young." Brutal. That's true.
Oh my
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth.
god.
That's the truth. I mean, I got lucky. I got lucky. Let's see what this month's gonna do.
Yeah, Orca's the other member of my little monastic order type deal right now.
Place. Go to place. Oh, place. Yeah, I got my dog with me. Got my dog outside. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start. Oh shit! Damn, I forgot. Hey guys, I think I gotta end this live stream soon. I got a thing to respond to this girl. Shit.
All right.
All right.
This girl probably about to freaking lose her mind.
Yeah, you might wanna do that if you want to keep her.
Yeah, this is how all my freaking live streams end. Like some girl will start messaging me. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go.
No, she's probably watching this.
Yeah. It's Saturday night. She wants her some Dion.
Uh-huh.
Ah, well, I can't really like go over there right now anyway. So
Hey, look here. There's still the phone bone.
Just tell her
You never heard of that one?
I will after I quit this job next month.
There's still the phone bone. You know. You ever heard of that?
The phone bone.
The phone bone.
And you talk about sexting.
Yeah. No. Fuck that. No, you basically share mutual enjoyment over the phone while talking. Fuck
Oh,
that.
dude, I had this girl from Kazakhstan one time try to do that shit with me. I was like, this shit's weird. I don't want to do this.
Welcome to growing up in the '90s.
Nah, but well, I mean, I was growing up in the '90s, but like, well, I was what 7 years older in the '90s. Yeah, no, I wouldn't
Well,
exactly have no phone bones.
neither was I. So, what can I say?
Anyways,
I,
we're gonna go ahead and play the outro, and I'll conclude this live stream. It's a good stream, guys. Good stream. I'm
10-4.
definitely gonna do this again.
good night, everyone.
Good night.
Probably come,
Right, man.
Don't do
probably
nothing
come with
that
a
I
better
do.
topic next time too. So,
All right. Cheers.
I'll see you guys later.
10-4.